Welcome to episode 100 of the Reptile Gumbo podcast. See, I had plans for the button.
You're such a mess.
I know. Oh, it's episode 100.
Are you surprised you made it to episode 100?
Yes.
Really?
Because that's like 2 years.
Mm-hmm.
It's a long time to like go, hey, every week I'm going to do this. I've only missed a couple of weeks.
Yeah.
We took off one this year for Christmas.
We took off, I think, last year for Christmas or New Year's.
We did. We took 2 weeks off, I think, last year.
Did we? And then we took off because of COVID. 1 week because of COVID.
That's because both of y'all were down.
Yeah, we both had
Yeah.
COVID.
The damn vid.
Yeah.
But
Congratulations, babe.
yay.
Yeah. I mean, we've done probably, 75 of those?
Yeah.
It's been
I should have made you a shirt like we wear for the 100th day of school. 100
to
episodes.
dress up like a 100-year-old person,
I know.
like little kids
I
do.
feel
We're not
like-
dressing up like
I
that.
fucking feel like a 100-year-old
I
person.
do.
sometimes.
I hated being in the car for so long today.
I think
Wasn't awful though, because there was no traffic and
some of us had to go to
I
work.
just
Oh, John
zipped
Grant's
right
here.
over.
What's up, John Grant?
It was nice.
He
You-
thought you wanted his bearded dragon.
I know. John Grant. Group texts are confusing when you don't pay attention to what you type.
Yeah. John
John-
Grant said, you know anybody that wants a bearded dragon that has a messed up back leg? Then a few minutes later, sent us one about, do you guys use Zilla mini domes? I said, no. James said, I do. John said, great, I'll bring it this weekend. She's in great shape. James like, no.
no.
I mean, I use Zilla mini domes. I was answering the last question.
I've already had
Aw.
already had a lizard with messed up
I was
legs.
gonna say she's doing great in my classroom.
Want another one?
We don't need another one.
Oh,
She's dramatic enough.
sponsors. Let's do our sponsors real quick. So we can do our
Yeah.
guest.
My phone locked on me. If you are looking for a high quality PVC rack, look no further than Lone Star Reptile Racks. They offer a variety of sizes for all types of snakes, geckos, rats, and more. You can even order something custom. Shipping is available, or you can plan to pick up at a Herbst Reptile show near you. Visit lsreptileracks.com to reach out to Lone Star Reptile Racks and place your order today.
I like turtles.
No, quit playing with buttons.
I like turtles.
James Lewis.
What?
No.
Oh, that was the wrong volume switch. Hold on. So everybody can hear it.
I like turtles.
I'm gonna play with you tonight. It's my 100th episode. I can do what I want. Oh, this one's good. This one's
You
good.
better bring in
This
your
one's good.
guess.
Hold on. Oh wait.
She might put up with you a little better than I do. If you're not watching the video and watching him dance as our guest dance, even though you can't see
You
her
can't help
on
but
the
dance to
screen,
this.
but you're the only two doing it.
Well, that's y'all's fault. That's not my fault.
Oh my gosh.
Robert would have danced. He's busy working over there. Or texting Chris Heaton or something.
No,
All right.
no Chris yet.
That's funny.
Last guest. Well, not last guest. We have two more guests. Wiregrass Exotics. Have they opened up their?
I think so. Yeah.
I
believe
want to say they're completely moved.
Yeah, they are moved. They have a new building on Highway 231 in. Oh, I'm already blank. I want to say Ozark, but it's not. It is Ozark.
Yeah, I think they're still in Ozark.
In Ozark, yeah. I was stuck between Ozark and Opelika, and they're two totally different places in Alabama. In Ozark, go by and see the Ruas over at Wiregrass Exotics in Ozark, and then also Herbst Reptile shows. Which, if you're planning on coming to the Conroe show and you haven't seen the update, I will be good about this. Saturday got canceled outside of our control. We were told we couldn't be there because something's going on nearby. And so we will only have a Sunday show at Conroe this weekend. So if you're coming to Conroe, know that it's only a Sunday show, but most of the vendors are still there. There were only a small handful of vendors that couldn't make just a one-day show, and it'll still be big. So everybody come, and I think it'll be good for the vendors because I think everybody's going to be buying on Sunday. So
Yeah.
there'll be no wondering, "Ooh, I hope I do better tomorrow." There's only one day.
That was me all weekend. Hope I do better tomorrow.
But the one-day show, that's a northern thing. Up north, they do one-day shows.
hmm
So we're just not used to it down here. We're used to having to make a whole weekend out of it.
I
Which
think
kinda
I think it will create a sense of urgency.
I hope so.
Sorry, I'm trying to find the Herb vendor group, and for some reason it's not there. It is. And I think it'll be good. I really do. I'm actually looking forward to it. Kind of looking forward to
Just one day.
not having to
One
be
day.
at a show all day.
The hours.
And,
Don't get me wrong. I love being at shows. My wife and my kid love being at shows because they get to go wander around, talk to everybody. I'm
Yes.
pretty much stuck at the booth all the time.
I say I'll be at the front gate all day Sunday.
I'll be there.
I'll be at the front door.
I was gonna bring snakes, but I'm not bringing snakes. But
I get that.
But I'll have snakes at the future shows.
There you go.
So it's January 30th is Conroe. The hours are different. It is 10 to 6.
Because it's a 1-day show.
Because it's a 1-day show, we're doing 10 to 6. So you can do it a little later. And then February 26th, 27th is Corpus Christi. And then back over to Louisiana for New Orleans on March 5th and 6th. Then back over to Texas the next weekend, March 12th and 13th for Bryan College Station. And then Slidell, April 2nd and 3rd. So ping pong back to Louisiana again. So
Sean has had I don't know if y'all saw his marketing thing he posted earlier.
Mm-hmm.
Just since January 21st, it looks like there's been 1.5 million impressions just on Facebook
cool.
for this show. So
Yeah, they're really pushing hard to get the word out that it's just a 1-day show and to really make sure everybody knows the times and stuff like that.
Again, anybody listening, the 1-day show thing, not Sean or Herp's fault. Something outside of our control happened, and we were forced to not be there on Saturday. There's a little bit of bitterness in my voice there. It's
It's all right.
you know,
It is what it is.
pissed off about that. Anyways, so 1-day show. All right, let's get to our guest, because this is a guest that I've been told multiple times by people to have back on, who kind of wasn't a guest, but now is a guest.
She tolerates you so much more than I do.
Let's bring her in. It's April.
Hey! I don't know about the tolerating. I'm not sure.
Lord.
I've been told so many times that we should have April back on the podcast.
Well,
Hey,
here
guys.
I am.
April's back on the podcast.
Hey!
And April has her own podcast now.
I
her.
know.
Didn't the first episode just come out?
It did. It did on Sunday. It came out. Yep. So we talk the history
Awesome.
of short tails with Keith McPeak. So it's pretty.
Oh, wow.
So far,
That is so
everything's
cool.
been pretty good. So, yeah, we went all the
Yeah.
way. We went back to the 80s when they first got imported and kind of went through up until now on how they've changed and how things have changed with husbandry and what we've learned. So, really cool.
That fucking Eric Burke got to her before I could.
I know.
April's like, hey, April, I'm starting a network. You should be on it. And then Eric Burke. swooped
Literally a
in.
week before, if even.
Aw.
Damn you, Eric Burke. Oh, well, but I've got to listen to that. I have to listen to that podcast. I have not listened to it yet.
It is. It's going to be great.
Keith's cool. We met Keith at Tinley, which was forever ago now. Now that I think about
Definitely feels like it was
it, it
forever.
was
ago.
2019.
I say it was
That was
Yeah.
3 years ago.
It was
We're
before
getting
we knew
old,
each other.
man.
Because man, that's a long
I
time.
feel old.
Well, we
are old.
met in 2019 at Herp's Conroe,
Yes,
but yeah,
I met April in 20.
I don't
20.
even know. It was a no.
No,
No, it was 2019 at
It
Tinley.
was
I was at
2019 at
Tinley.
It was
Tinley.
2019. Yep.
And then we hung out at Carpet Fest at the very beginning of 2020, which is the very
Yep.
That was like 3 weeks before everything shut down.
yeah, because then we
Yeah.
went to New Orleans and then everything did shut down.
Yep.
Yep.
We were all in New Orleans.
were
But
on
still good
pure
times though. Good
Ground
times.
Yes.
Zero.
And then this time last year, I was at your guys' house.
Yep.
that's
Oh,
right.
that's true.
Mhm.
Time has been weird the last
She
3
came
years.
with y'all to
No
Slidell,
kidding, huh?
hmm
right?
No, she came to Slidell on her own.
Well, she came to visit us just to visit us.
Yeah, those were cool.
What other show did
She was at New Orleans.
New Orleans, that's what it was.
That was
Yep.
That was
Yeah.
the show with.
that was the COVID show, wasn't
That
it?
was it was right before COVID.
Yeah,
Yep.
but there was because I've been to 2 shows that April's been at.
She went to a Slidell show that we could not go to because we had to be good parents that weekend.
That,
That
was,
was
the
recent
last
was
one.
The
recent.
last, the
Mhm.
last Slidell show.
But there was another Slidell show you were at too.
Just in New
Or
Orleans.
was that the Ruas?
one
That's
was-
the one the Ruas were at. Wasn't she there?
She was not there.
Oh, fuck.
Yeah, I
Okay.
was. Wasn't
Were you
I?
there?
I'm about to
She
say, I
was.
thought
Oh, you were
because
there.
y'all
That's
were
what
in the
stickers.
corner.
That's what
Yeah,
she
we
wrote
have
on
And
there.
she
in the
put
corner.
stickers
All
on
fucking stickers in my
everything that you own.
Yeah.
I found stickers.
I'm
For
still
weeks.
finding stickers. It's
That's so funny.
hilarious. I think
Good.
it's funny.
I'm glad.
John Grant says that's the show that I sold the illegal snake. No, that is not the show I sold the illegal snake. That was well before that.
Oh, that carpet?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was.
Fucking Louisiana.
I
still don't actually know what-
Door.
I still don't actually know what came of that. I probably need to call that lawyer. That's been like a while.
That won't respond to
He
anything.
never called me back. So
Yeah, whatever.
I'd like to say the state won't hunt me down for that, but Louisiana likes their money. They'll hunt people down for anything.
I feel like that is very factual.
Anyways, I want to do our question because we had a lot of answers on the question this week.
because I have a song stuck in my head that I need to get out of my
What
head.
song is stuck in your head?
I don't want to bring it up because I don't want it to get stuck in anybody else's head.
Baby
Well,
Shark.
now
No.
Wait,
you're terrible. Why would you say that?
wait for it.
That'll work
Did that work?
a little bit.
I've got more.
Our child is learning a soundtrack right now for a very popular movie.
Yeah. Hold on.
God.
I've got an even better one.
Okay, it's not that one, but it's the one that has beaten all of those records.
Yeah.
Okay.
But she
I'm-
listens
Every
to
parent I
one.
know.
She listens to one
Something.
song at a time for like 45 minutes. And then she learns that song and then she moves on to the next one. So while I was helping her clean and rearrange her room before the podcast, we listened to one song from the
On
soundtrack
repeat forever.
the whole time.
Okay, so I'm gonna be the weird person and go. I don't get the movie. I mean, I get the movie, but I don't get the cult following of Encanto, or how everybody. I don't
haven't
remember.
watched
I do.
I don't
It's-
remember a single song.
No, I mean, I get it. It's
Don't stop that. Don't do that now. When we watch the movie, you
no,
were this.
I told you that I didn't think that it was as good as everybody was playing it out to be. But I will say that now that I've watched it more than once, I'm like starting to feel the allure a lot more. And I've had a lot of people tell me
No.
you've got to watch it multiple times for it to just
Yeah.
like sink into your brain. and
That
not
sounds like people that told me, "Oh no, I know beer tastes bad, but if you keep drinking it, it'll get better."
Yeah.
leave. Acquired.
That's one way to do it.
Now, Sing 2, on the other hand, I would gladly pay $25 to rent off of Amazon Prime again and watch it again.
Thing
because
two was good.
That was awesome.
I got a look. I got an even better song to help you out. Wait for it. Wait for it.
That just makes me think about
Thanks for
Full
that.
Metal Jacket.
Oh, I forgot that all these
All right.
buttons and I never use them.
You don't.
I gotta get.
I have not missed them.
I have.
We were so sad that you didn't remember that they were there.
I
That's what
know.
she said.
Oh,
Mm.
sorry. So Victor said, Darren said he thought it was gonna be Joe Phelan. I actually, and then Victor says Joe is MIA. He's not MIA. I have actually talked to him in the last month.
He is alive and he is well.
We will get him on soon. We will get him on soon. He's
He's had
still
some big
alive.
life changes.
He has.
Yes. So
Yeah, sorry to disappoint. I'm not Joe. Apologize.
she's probably taller than him though. So
Possibly,
Yeah.
I think I might be.
All right. So,
Uh,
what was your question for the week, James?
so it was April's question
Cool.
was which of the following do you want and why? A reptile business, a money making hobby, just a hobby, or just a pet or two?
Yeah, I saw this question and I was like, this is a really great question.
Okay, no, I came up with that question. It was all me. It was all me.
No, it was
Yeah,
not.
April didn't do shit.
Whatever.
Yes. I'm so bad at questions too. I was telling James, I'm like, no, I
hate
don't have
that.
to come up with one.
I hate when he asks me to come up with one. I'm like, no.
I just don't respond.
That's why I secretly
Yeah.
force all the guests to do it.
Yeah. So that's lucky for you that you don't respond, but he'll come like as I'm falling asleep at night and he's like, Katie,
Right.
Katie, we need a question. I'm like, go away. Let
And
me
then I'm
go to
like,
sleep."
Bazinga.
Anyways,
Glad you entertain yourself.
I forgot how much I love these buttons and what I put on them because next time Katie says a joke
You're such an asshole.
or
Continue, James.
anyways, so let's go through these and then we will talk about our answers to this. But you know what's fun is I get to see there's new names popping up every week on the replies on our questions.
That's
So that's cool.
exciting.
It is
Yeah.
exciting. Oh, before I get to the question, I want to talk about our giveaway this week or this month. We talked about it last week. Talk about it again this week. Our buddies over at Focus Cubed are giving away
Ooh.
I want to get the size right. It's an 18 by, I'm not gonna lie, it's a 36 by 18 inch replacement lid for an Exoterra enclosure. It's a PVC lid with a screen cutout, and it's got vent cutouts and everything. It's awesome. If you have issues, especially with the humidity in your cages, like if you're doing a big like dart frog bib or something like that, these lids would be great for that. So our buddies over at Focus Cube, all you gotta do is go to our Facebook page, find the post pinned at the top, and share it, and then you're entered in for a free lid.
Yeah, that's
So-
a really cool idea that they're doing that.
Yeah, because a lot of people have issues with losing humidity through that just with that wire top. So
Yep. I have a feeling this cat that you see behind me is going to try to jump on my shoulder.
there's a ball sack.
Oh, I see.
For anybody
it.
watching video, and we haven't seen the ball
She's
sack.
giving the
forever.
look like she's
I was
ready.
like, she's coming.
Oh,
She's fixing
yep.
to
Oh,
pounce.
wait for it. Wait for it.
And-
There it is. There's a ball sack
Ow.
on your shoulder.
Yeah, it's okay.
Yeah.
Oh, bye.
and
That's
it's
hilarious.
gone. Could you only
Sorry.
imagine if those were boy cats? Then you'd have ball sacks on ball sacks.
Little dingleberries that, you know.
Y'all.
Oh, anyways, back to our question.
Question
Will
time.
Macready said, hobby, slightly obsessive, expensive, time consuming, but rewarding hobby. I used to want to attempt to make money with it and have nothing against people who do, but I found it very disheartening to see how often the animals ended up in the hands of people who didn't take care of them. I totally support the people who make money with our hobby / industry, but I just don't think it's for me right now. I get that.
I don't understand what's going on with Facebook. So Sean just messaged me and said that the comments aren't showing up on Facebook, and they're not, but some are. It's weird. It's like
Like a very
for our
expensive
video?
lag or something.
I see where Tracy said, "Hey, April," and Angel said, "An amazing podcast.
Hi.
Love short tales," and that's it.
Yay.
All the other ones on there, it's not showing up.
Facebook
Well, cool.
editing
Those are ones
people.
just to me, so that's okay.
That's hilarious.
Thank you.
It's Facebook editing people. That's all it does is edit people nowadays.
Oh
Mhm.
God.
Wait till-
You know, it's funny that you bring that up because I've been following something on Facebook.
On Facebook?
And I hate when it's like only relevant comments. And so it takes like half the comments that have been. No, I want to see all the drama. I want
Yeah.
to see everything that people have posted.
That's
Dude,
Drives
what,
me
did I,
nuts.
what did I get a warning for the other day?
You got a warning for what?
Oh,
Posting
no, I didn't
something?
get a warning. It blocked it off because when Sean
What?
said that the show was canceled we thought Connor was going to be canceled. I said, well, that's a kick in the nuts. And it blocked it as like, you had to click on it and say, yes, I want to see this because it's because of violence.
Oh,
my
my
goodness.
goodness.
Wow.
I've had that. I've had something like that happen before. Yeah, you can't have a sense of humor anymore on Facebook because Facebook gets offended. Although I guess Facebook is a mirror
Because
of.
we're all living in a simulation.
It's possible.
Wait, if this is the Matrix, I want to be able to fly. I'm gonna go jump off a building.
Probably not advisable.
I believe I can fly. Okay, anyways, back to our question. Dallas Rua said Amanda and I started from the bottom of that list and worked our way to the top. So they started out as a couple of pets and worked their way up to a business. So we started with 2 corn snakes, then a ball python, a carpet python, about 20 or 30 other snakes. That grew into about 100 plus snakes, and we started vending shows. We weren't trying to get rich, just make enough money for our hobby to pay for itself. And now we own our store and have around 200 animals and haven't stopped trying to succeed and grow. Which again, go visit the Ruas if you're in Alabama.
Did anyone else do that? Started from the bottom, now we're here. Did anyone else do that? Because I did.
It was in
that.
my head. It was in my head.
What is that from?
Good.
It's a rap song.
Oh,
It's a
okay.
That's why you don't know it.
But you know what?
What?
We don't
If
talk
it was
about
Broadway
know the
musicals, she'd be
song.
on it.
God.
You can say we don't talk about Bruno all you want, but I don't know the song. I don't remember. I mean, I remember
Oh.
the song happening,
Listen,
but I can't give you a rhythm or lyrics to it other than we don't talk about Bruno. Jillian DeJoseph said just a pet or two. I don't know how you do that. I have no idea how to have just a pet or two when it
It's
comes
called
to reptiles.
self-control. None of us have it.
None of us
clearly.
have
No, not at all.
None of us.
I find that impossible.
We brought home 3 this weekend.
What?
Did you really?
How did you bring home? Oh, wait, no, wait. Well, we'll get to one of yours that you brought home.
Oh my goodness.
So we'll get to that in a minute.
Did your phone just go off?
It did.
Boy, you better put that on
It
silent.
was Travis Wyman.
Okay, well then I guess he gets a pass.
Gina, our friend Gina said, I'd like the business and money making hobby. I will be able to write off something on the business and end. And so I can't read it all. Rewind. I'll be able to write off some things on the business end so I can sink more money into my hobby, business, and passion. Oh, she used the word passion.
Oh.
Making some money will allow me to potentially add new species and more opportunities to educate others in the process. And then Darren, who is in the chat, Darren said, just a pet or 10. 2 is such a small number. I agree, Darren. He
I like that.
There's so many reptiles, amphibians, and arachnids I am interested in keeping, and I'm not interested in breeding animals and selling them. My collection is made up of dream animals of mine, and that is my only interest, which is cool. I mean, I like the breeding part, but I totally get the whole not wanting to breed part because it is a pain in the ass also.
I like the breeding part. I don't really like the selling part. But
I
the
don't know.
selling part enables me to be able
Buy
to
more.
breed more.
The selling part enables the buying part, and the buying part is fun.
Yeah, it's like the circle.
The circle of life. Okay. Travis Wyman said, I'm not sure I would call mine a money-making hobby. As to me, that implies a sort of side hustle gig. I would just like for my hobby to make enough money to pay for itself so as to offset the costs that go into it.
Bless you.
Excuse me. I sneezed, but I was good enough to turn my volume down.
I know. We appreciate that.
I had to get through Travis's before I sneezed. What a dick. Everyone out there that's driving, they don't hit the car next to him. That's Robert's fault. Ish said, a hobby, if my animals end up paying for their room and board down the line, that's great. That would be great if they would do it. Just waiting for that part. Nathan Holcomb said, I want whatever animals I can care for properly and only the ones I like, no matter how cheap, expensive, common, or rare.
Here. Good for you for standing your grounds, because I feel that way about some of the stuff that I have. Like, that's super common and everybody has it, like my bearded dragon or my leopard gecko, because I have a plain het snow leopard gecko. And most people would be like, that's super boring. You should get something else. You know what? I paid $15 for her.
It is super boring.
Because she's for my classroom and my kids freaking love her.
Which you got at Tinley in 2019.
I know.
So it's all going back.
I don't need a crazy expensive leopard gecko for my classroom.
You know, you could have stopped it. I don't need a leopard gecko.
No, we need her. She's fabulous.
She's a fat little leopard gecko.
I have sent Seth multiple pictures and he assures me that she is healthy.
Oh, she's healthy.
But I think she's a little chunky.
She's a little fatty.
I think like every now and then, like she'll lay a certain way in her cage and I'm like, you should probably go on a diet. But it's
when she lays on her back and her belly,
like her belly like pudges out to the side when she lays certain ways. But then when I get her out and she moves around,
So
she looks
does mine.
fun. That's me. Mine does too, but
Sean says it can't be het snow and leopard geckos.
okay, well then I don't know what she is.
I think
No,
yours
so-
is het. I think yours is het. Is it max nut? That's a max nut. That can be het, can it? Sean, you have to get back to me.
I don't know.
Chris said you have to give StreamYard permission. You have to give permission to StreamYard now.
Oh, you have to do it again, like even if you've already given it in the past.
Yeah, that's what he thinks.
Bleh.
But that us or the people on Facebook?
The people on
I think
Facebook.
people on Facebook when they log in, they have to
Ah,
click the little thing that says you have permission.
Yeah,
Well, that's a
but they
pain
may
in the
have
butt.
reset things where you have to do it again though.
Yeah. We'll get back to the chat in a second. Christian Parr said, just a hobby. I keep reptiles for many different reasons, but the biggest reason is for my personal enjoyment. Interacting, observing, learning, and caring for my animals is the reason I have my animals. Any money I make for my animals goes right back into my group, new caging, better husbandry equipment, and more, or maybe in another animal. John Grant says Max Snow is incomplete dominant.
I don't know what that means.
Incomplete dominant means, I'm blanking. It is or it's not, like hypo and boas. So when it's born, it either is or it's not. There's no recessive.
So they don't have the gene.
No.
Then why did they tell me she was het?
Are you sure it was Snow?
Yeah,
It was a long time ago. You're getting kind of old. You may have forgotten.
boy, don't even.
I know nothing about their morphs or anything, so I have nothing to add to this conversation.
Yes, we can see you, Alana.
I got nothing. I don't know.
Oh, I don't know. Then maybe she's not. Maybe she's het albino.
I don't know. You got it.
I don't know.
I don't even know who you got her from.
I have it.
Well, it
somewhere.
doesn't
I have
matter,
it
right?
written
Because
down.
you're not breeding her.
No.
I'm not breeding
And
her.
She
No.
doesn't look whatever the het
No,
is.
she looks
so,
like a
meh.
normal
Yeah.
leopard gecko.
So there you go.
She is fun.
And you love her.
We really do. The kids adore her. So
Yeah.
they like everything we have, though.
Victor, who was also in the chat, said I would love to have money-making hobby that would eventually lead to a reptile business. I already had pets, and now I turned it into a hobby. Which is kind of how this goes. It should progress naturally. It should progress, I think, from pets to money-making business. But because there's so much money in reptiles, you see a lot of people come in that skip straight to the money-making business, but then you don't tend to see them around very long.
I mean, it takes a lot of money to get into it with good quality animals and getting ahead of the game, so to speak. You know, if you're
Yeah.
in certain species and whatnot, that takes a good amount of money and commitment. And then you have the animals that you have to grow up, so it's years. You know,
You got to be willing to clean shit. Not everybody. Which means you have to actually like the animals.
or regurges. That's worse than cleaning up shit.
yes, it is. Especially if you don't notice it till like the next day or something.
You're like, oh God. And it just soaks into everything. You can't get it out of your nostrils.
That's what
Yep.
to say. That's one of those smells that you walk around your house and you're like, I smell it in this room
Yeah.
too. And it's
Yep.
everywhere.
Yep.
Yeah. John Feely said reptile business. I enjoy it as a hobby or money making hobby, but I would prefer my life surrounded by what I love. If you're doing something you love, then staying successful should be easy.
That's right.
Should be.
The
There's a lot
reason
of-
I thought about this question is because there's so much that goes into a business and the business aspect of things that I don't think people necessarily take into consideration. Like, does your county, do you have to sign up for or get certain licensing from your county? You have taxes that you have to do. If you have to make a profit, for so many years in a row to be considered a business, and that's not necessarily something that everyone considers. Like the details of it, like I got a Facebook page and I got a name, and I made the shirts. Look, I got the shirts.
I got a logo.
I got the
logo.
logo. So I'm legit now.
I can
there's so much
guarantee
more.
you that a majority of the people are not thinking about all the business side of it, because I get those questions every single day from people, especially right now, people with questions about tax. Can I write this off my taxes? Can I write that off my taxes? Probably should ask your accountant.
And even
Or
if you
an
do,
accountant.
it doesn't matter unless you're making a profit.
Right.
Writing off stuff doesn't matter
Well,
unless you're
that's people
actually
that-
making money.
There's people that have watched a lot of movies and TV, and they hear rich people say, "Oh, I'm just going to write that off." They don't actually know what that means. They don't fucking know what it means. They just know that you can do it, and they want to do it,
Yep.
whatever it may be.
And you have to track everything.
Yes,
It's ridiculous how much you have to track.
we will get back to the business part in a second. I promise. Let me get through these, and then we're going to talk, and we'll get to it. I promise. We're going to do it. Ashley Howdy said a pet or two, because doing reptiles full time like we are is too dang difficult in time, life, emotional, consuming that it takes much of the fun out of it. I don't want to hear it, Ashley. Y'all get to go fishing once a week.
She's gone fishing no, they're doing like
every
some
day.
Are they going every day now?
they're doing
20
like
casts a day.
some challenge or whatever where it's 20 casts a day for 2022.
The weather lately has been shit.
And they have still gotten their 20 casts a day.
The howdies are not sane. That was like the video the other day they posted of when the storm and the wind and the hail came through and was chunking wood into the side of their truck.
Yeah.
I'm sure they still went fishing that day too.
I'm sure they did.
Chris Sexton said, I want a hobby that sustains itself. Good luck with that. Chris Dodge says a pet or two, but mind me, we shouldn't slap on it as much. What the fuck does that mean? I think I may be officially too old. I don't know what the fuck that means.
What?
Exactly.
Is it slang?
No,
Like,
it's
what?
Pet or two, but mind me, we shouldn't slap on it as money hobby, for we should focus more on education aspect of that should be our, not our. Okay, I can't.
Who said that?
Chris Dodge. Chris
Wow.
Dodge. I will.
We need
Katie is
you
a-
to edit and use
Katie is
punctuation.
a
Please
English
and thank
teacher.
you.
She can help you out. She can help you form
Punctuation, please and thank you.
sentences and
Saves lives. Come on.
Kim Parr. I'm assuming that is in some way related to Christian Parr. So I'll take a pet or two as long as they are more. It says doxies. I don't know what. I'm going to look. Simple words, people. Simple words. If you want me to read this shit.
I mean, we're enjoying watching you struggle, so there's that.
Fuck all y'all. Todd Autry said just a pet or 27. That's true for Todd.
Not bad number.
Brendan's answer to this whole question about which one is yes. It's just that. It's just yes. He wants all of it. Our buddy Tracy, who's in the chat, said, well, right now I have a business selling reptile accessories and unique cages. Then when I have animals to sell, it adds money to my hobby of keeping reptiles. I would like to make more money and grow my collection back out so I can have babies more often, but that will come with time. I mostly just enjoy my reptiles, and I love that I get to combine my hobby of crafting and making things with my hobby of reptiles. Okay. And then Paul says, money-making hobby. I just want to make healthy, high-quality animals. I've got some fantastic things coming down the pipe. You should go see a doctor about that. All right. Now we can get to April.
Thanks a lot.
You got through that like crazy quick, man.
I was trying to. Well, there was a bunch of stuff going on in the chat too, and no, y'all are both like playing on your computers.
I'm working. Thank you very much.
Like I
I
said,
can't see
So
anything.
scroll back up,
I'm
'cause
not in the chat. So
Darren asked a question for me. You just passed it. Where'd you go?
you should scroll up. I was
Yeah,
scrolling
right
up.
there.
There.
So Darren wanted to know if any of my students have started keeping reptiles because of their experience in the classroom. And I actually have, not this year that I'm aware of. Although I do have a few kids this year who also have reptiles at home, but they had those before we had reptiles in the classroom. But I have students that are actually graduating high school this year that I taught 10 years ago. And as they got older, they actually got reptiles of their own because it was something similar to what we had in the classroom. I'm not okay with the fact that those second graders graduate high school this year, but it's okay.
Old.
Yeah. The first group of kids I ever taught graduate high school this year.
You're old.
They were so little. And now they're all driving.
I don't have anything for old. I'm looking for a button to press. We can go with this.
Thanks. Appreciate you, man.
It's the price is right.
Thanks for looking out for me.
Oh,
Good Lord.
I'm trying to see what. Oh, she was talking about her dogs. I'm assuming dachshunds.
What is it?
Doxies.
Oh, yeah, those are dachshunds.
You're staring at the board like you see dachshunds. There's nothing on the.
No, I was looking because you moved the camera and now I can't see the chat on the screen.
I think the word you're looking for is wah. So let's see. My mom would never let a pet reptile in our house when I was growing up.
me too. So I snuck mine in. I do not recommend.
That was not me, by the way. I was reading that off the chat. It's not me. My parents, we did have a snake. We had a red tail. Or a common boa, if people out there are anal. Anyways, so April, this was your question. It's safe to assume you want a reptile business, correct?
I'm actually I'm in between a hobby that pays for itself, like a money-making hobby, and then actual business. Because I have worked the numbers for the past 2 years and have, done taxes and all that as a business, as a sole proprietorship. And I haven't made money for the past 2 years, but this year I did put a lot of money into caging and marketing stuff and just a whole bunch of stuff because I know I have 3 years to not make money and then make money that next year and then be considered a business. Otherwise, I'm not, this isn't considered a business. So I was like, all right, I'll do like my big purchases and make that heavy on the beginning side of it. So that way I can be more profitable, to come. So I lost 4,000 this year, but I include everything reptile. So any trip I've gone to Tinley, anything like that, all of that is included in my reptile expenses. So anything reptile at all.
And that's like travel expenses, food expenses. That's how, lodging
expenses. It's hotel, rental cars. It's absolutely everything. On top of buying animals. What's that?
I think I lost that much last week.
Oh God.
But you'll make it back. It's fine.
You're right. I will for sure. For sure.
But, and that's the thing too. What if your incubator goes out one year?
Right.
And you don't have a backup plan. You know what I mean? You're not saving money. And then it's a scary thing. It's a real scary thing.
At a show, the people that are really making money are the people that sell dry goods and stuff like that. It's definitely me,
feeders.
The selling like the racks and stuff is definitely less scary to me as a business than the animal side because a virus or mites or whatever are not going to take out your business.
That's right.
Or laying slugs is not an issue for you. And so that's definitely like to make that a full business. You've got to have so many animals to make up for the amount of error or issues you're going to end up having.
Right.
It's
and
a
then
very
my market's super niche too. Or how do you guys say it? Do you say niche or do you say niche?
I say niche.
Sure.
Say niche.
Niche. Okay. Me too. But my market is so niche that
niche.
That's a new word. I just made it. It's you have if I go to a show in Memphis, I'm not going to be able to sell my animals because they're a higher price point. The bottom line of my price point is higher than what most people in Memphis are going to pay.
They're a higher price point now. You go back 20, 25 years ago, they were garbage animals.
Maybe garbage animals, they were still expensive.
No. Bloods weren't. Bloods would have been cheap.
When?
Now, if you listen to my podcast, they were actually about $300 coming straight out of the farms in Indonesia. And that's
Yeah.
about that. You'll get them less now. You see them on tables,
Really?
from
I
any.
could swear I've never seen
anyone.
them like super cheap, especially imported stuff. I mean, most of it was imported.
I mean, it could have been if you did like bulk
I mean,
buying
that
from
was
like a mail
like-
list.
20 years ago. We're old.
Yeah, God, we are.
I just turned
The-
36 and now I feel really old. Just so
Fuck
you
all
know,
y'all.
I'm closer to 40 than I am to 30.
James turns 37 on Friday.
Hey.
Who gives a fuck?
I'll be 42 in March.
Fucking
Hey,
old.
not the
Aw.
oldest.
Bloods are a weird one though, because like if we don't take them as pets, they become belts.
What?
Potentially, we get
But
them
they're-
more
But they're
more
a skin
from
trade.
yeah, and there's
Oh.
people with importing now that solely do that and collect them for the pet trade. There's a lot of money
Mhm.
in people collecting the animals for the pet trade and the stuff that how much we'll pay them for that.
But like a lot
So-
of the morphs and stuff and all those came from skin trade stuff. Like they were like, hey, if you find something weird,
It'll be skin trade and then the farms too.
yeah.
So
That's another thing over there is the farms. A lot of the, like
A lot
we
of
don't have
farms.
that here, but
Mm-mm.
a lot of the Indonesian stuff is farm raised, which is a whole different way of a whole different reptile business than what we have here. And if we go there and see that, a lot of people here would be like, that's horrible because it's not what we're used to, but it works.
These fucking babies, John and Alana, are talking
Oh,
about
I
how old they
know.
are.
Fuck them.
I saw that.
Their ages still start with a 2.
Hey, have you seen like I don't know if it was a meme or I don't know what the heck it was, but they showed like their license and they're like, oh, well, your date starts with a 1, and they're like, oh crap, like the year of your birthday is
Yeah.
1 instead of 2000
Yeah.
because then I
Oh,
was
Yep.
like, well,
God.
yep, yep.
Louise.
All right, I need to quit feeling old. Anyways,
I feel old every time I move.
but yeah, so business wise, where are you at? What do you have? How many clutches are you expecting this year?
I paired up 6 animals, but one was with a male who's borderline too young. But I figured the female was the right size. It's not going to hurt the male if I put him
If you can
in.
get a few squirts in there, you're good.
Yeah, I don't think he did though. Maybe he did. The female's acting different, but who knows? They surprise me sometimes. I always second guess myself and all these kind of things. But I paired up 6 different females, and I know for sure 2 have ovulated already, for sure. One of those already shed. One of them is in shed, and then the other ones I'm hopeful for. Like there's 2 for sure, 2 probably, and 2 maybe not. Just because the males are borderline too young.
So going back to being a niche, a small niche.
Niche.
The great thing for a lot of your stuff though is the price point makes up for being kind of specific.
Oh,
so
sure, yeah. Mhm.
Selling one makes up for not selling one last week or whatever, last month.
Yeah, it's not like I'm selling like corn snakes or anything. Nothing against corn snakes. Oh, geez, my cat's doing.
Oh
that,
God.
sorry. I know. I'm on my
April's
new.
house is falling.
I put my computer on my rolly cart and she's rolling it. But yeah, so my low price point for a normal blood would be like $150, and then for like normal Sumatrans, and I work with really dark animals, so I price them at about $300, $350. And yeah, if I would sell
April
a
likes
clutch
the dark
of that,
ones.
yeah, if I sell a whole clutch of that, then that's food bill for a good couple months, and that'll hold me over for a while. But then you
Darren's
have the more high end stuff that I'm working with, which would have a higher price point at that. So
Darren's wondering how much of what you produce do you hold back?
I don't hold back very much because all I have is this room that you see behind me here. That's all I have. And so I have to be very particular about the animals that I hold back and grow up. This year I held back 4. Last year I held back 4 also. Yeah. So that's it.
What was the one you produced? Was it last year or the year before? That was like one of the first.
That was in 2020, and that was a T-007. And there's 3 of those out there. Now there's more, but those are the oldest ones out there. And they're doing really good. Yeah, she's
So
a
you
really
kept
good
one,
animal.
right?
Yeah, I can get her out if you want. She's just right there, right next to me. But yeah, and she's a sweet animal. And so the male that I know of, is also very sweet. And then the one other animal that is out there, I haven't got any updates on him, so don't know if he's grouchy pants or not. But yeah, they're turning out really cool.
Have you not produced any more since then?
I mean, because I don't want to oversaturate a market, and I also started this whole thing because I wanted to produce animals that I couldn't afford at the time. And so I don't necessarily want to make a whole bunch of the same thing over and over again unless I'm trying to add more color into it or, make the pattern more crisp or build upon its look. And sometimes with morphs in general, if you're just throwing morphs into things, yeah, the pattern's really cool. But you want to really actually take into consideration how you're going to make that animal better, how you're going to make the next clutch better. So I haven't at the moment.
Yeah. What was that?
The
Not only
cat.
Yeah.
Fucking
Come on,
cat.
man. Even I knew that.
Yeah.
All right, let's get back to the business side because I'm always interested in let's say interested. There's so many people that get into this hobby that plan on doing it as a business. We hinted at it earlier, but there's a lot more that goes into. Well, I'll give you a hint. So I made a meme today because I like making memes. So I make fun of students because anybody out there that's ever seen South Park with the underpants gnomes? You never seen it? Okay, so the underpants gnomes have a 3-step process for making money. First step, steal underpants. Step 2, step 3, profit.
Money.
Right.
So that's how I feel whenever my students tell me how they're going to be rich when they get older. They didn't think of the middle, but that's a lot of people that get into this hobby. Let's say hobby. They're getting into it for business, not hobby. But the thing is, step 1, buy lots of snakes. Step 2, step 3, be rich.
Yep.
Oh, yeah.
And they haven't thought out step 2.
Yeah, you've mentioned that a few times.
Yeah, you see it pop up on Facebook like all the time.
Dude, think about how much I deal with it.
Well, and you see it too because you'll sell racks to someone who's getting into it, and then you've said before a month later, 2 months later, it's for sale again.
Right now, the market is fucking flooded with used stuff. It is insane how much the market, especially here in Houston, is flooded with used racks
That's
and
interesting.
cages.
So it's just everyone getting out?
Yeah, and then there's a bunch of new people getting in.
Mm-hmm.
There's a couple of them that have bought some collections and are selling off all the stuff that they don't want, the racks and whatnot. But it doesn't bother me because like this one dude, he's selling a shitload of it, including thermostats, but he basically wants retail for it. So people are messaging me like, I literally had someone today buy a rack from me today because they were like, he's selling one of your racks for retail. I'm like, all right. And it had dirty as shit. It had snakes in it.
And I think people get out of it because they think that there's no money in the business. But the problem is there is money if you treat it like a business.
There's no money in any business if you don't want to work for it.
There's no
That is
money.
true.
There's no
That is
money in
true.
it if you were like, all right, what's the cheapest way I can get into this? Then there's not going to be any money for because if you're getting into it cheap, then expect for you not to make a ton of money. It's going to be cheap stuff.
Yep.
So there's going to have to be some money put forth in the beginning to try and make money.
And
Right.
honestly, it's knowing your numbers too, because if you have no idea how much it takes just to keep your collection, you don't know what you're going to have to price animals at in order to make money.
Yep.
Yeah.
And then
What?
if you are pricing them at a certain price, are people buying them at that price?
I can't tell you how many. Like, there's a guy that's just started out building racks and stuff. What happened? Why y'all?
I hear the ball sack in the
My
background.
cat.
So,
That's why.
And he was messaging me the other day asking us some questions about pricing. And I'm like, well, how much does it cost you to build this? I don't know.
Yeah.
Well, how much? I don't know. I said, well, look, man, you got to figure all that out before you.
yeah,
can
without knowing
ever-
costs. That's why mine is purely a hobby that makes money every now and then because I don't know how much it costs to feed my snakes.
Yeah.
I feed my snake when I got to feed my snakes. It's a hobby. If I wanted to run like a business, sure, I would figure out what it costs to feed snakes for a year. Like
It costs
But
a
I'm-
lot, I'll tell you that.
it does. I know it does. That's why I don't look at it. Because it's a hobby. I would be owning these animals whether I was making money off of them or not. But I enjoy the breeding part. And so I totally get some of the people that answered on our thing that said that they don't want to do the breeding part. And I get and respect that completely. I enjoy the breeding part because I like the idea of the genetics and oh, look, it's Christmas. I don't know what I'm going to get and something happens. But I'm not
The
doing
science of it is
Yeah.
what you like. Yeah.
I'm not doing it because, oh man, because you hear people all the time, they go, well, I got a male, I'm going to buy a female. But are
You're
they
doing it wrong. Step 1, buy female first.
That is true. But are they doing that whole thing of I've got one, so I've got to get the opposite sex only because
Right.
they feel like they have to buy into this whole pyramid scheme that is reptile breeding? Or are they feeling that they need to get another one of the opposite sex because they truly have a passion behind the idea of breeding them and have plans? Like there's you hear people talk about the negative of being a breeder, but I don't think being a breeder is wrong
Right.
if done correctly. And I don't think it's wrong if done with the right intention. But what in the world is that cat doing?
I say
It's
that
the
didn't
top-
sound very
it's-
good.
It's the top of the Christmas tree tub, which is why I'm getting that rack. Because they'll jump off of it and it like pushes the lid down, and that's what you hear.
Nice.
Mhm.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
Fucking ball sacks.
I
all
need
over the
very
place.
secure cages in the snake room because of them.
But I was trying to remember what I saw the other day. I can't remember what I saw the other day. There was something that led me to the whole idea behind running it like a business.
But when did you guys start like as pets? Because mine was like between 15 and I don't know how old I was when 2014 hit, but then. So like between that
before
time,
that.
it was for me, it was just pets.
So I had a tarantula when I was in the 8th grade for a science fair project.
That wasn't a pet,
But then it went to live with a 4th grade classroom.
which makes
for
it not
a pet.
not a pet for you.
It was not a pet for me. It was a project. But other than that, I didn't have anything until James and I got together.
I mean, I had
dogs and like dogs, but that was it.
we had a red tail for a couple of years when I was in 1st, 2nd, 3rd grade. So that would have been 92-ish, 93, somewhere in there. We had them. And then we got rid of it because it got too big and we got afraid of it, which I think is hilarious now. And then I got my first snake for what I am doing now in 2003. I got my rainbow boa that passed away last year in 2003. And then from that point on, it was pets. And I didn't breed. My first breeding wasn't until college. So 2007, I bred red rainbows once. But it's been very sporadic breeding. I'm trying to get more organized on that end. Breeding's kind of been a whenever I get to it, I kind of have plans, but plans get interrupted with a whole bunch of stuff. So hopefully my true breeding plans and projects can start this year once I get these fucking mites under control.
I didn't know you had them. That sucks.
It sucks.
Yeah, I know.
Don't know.
I've had them before. It sucks.
Don't know where I got them. It sucks.
And they won't fucking go away.
The whole reason I'm not bringing any snakes to Conroe.
Yeah.
Even though the snakes I plan on bringing to Conroe don't have mites.
We just don't want to risk it.
Yeah, I didn't
Yeah,
want to
but
bring.
still, yeah.
So I didn't want to bring any. So that's fine.
That's good of you, sir.
Trying to be responsible. And
There
it's
you
not all
go.
for the money. If it was all for the money, I wouldn't be breeding het Annery sand boas. But
No, you'd be all loaded up on ball pythons if you was in for the money,
Yeah.
so.
which I just got
That's
rid
true
of.
story though. Those ball python people, they can make some bank.
They
They really
can,
do.
but it goes back
Yes,
to us
right.
talking about
They
all these folks that are getting out
can.
of animal. We see all these people getting out of reptiles, but they're really getting out of ball pythons. They're not getting out of reptiles. Most of them are getting out of ball pythons because they didn't make Justin Kabilka money in the first 3 years. Because they started out with
That's how long it takes for an animal to, well, maybe not ball pythons, but for my animals, that's how long it takes for them, the males, to be, in sexual maturity.
Heidi said, "Hey, now, Heidi, I'm not talking about y'all. Y'all have an actual like collection of animals that cost money and all that. I'm talking about the folks that bought like 15 pastels and they were going to be millionaires with 15 pastels. Just gonna
Or they
rock
find all
it.
their ball pythons on Craigslist, because that's what I did back in 2014. Just
Yeah.
so you know,
You were that person.
I was that person.
That's not a
And
business, but to certain people, that's a business plan. That my business plan is I'm gonna find the snakes that people are getting rid of, and we're not talking about like buying like full on like really nice collections. They're like they're gonna buy the $40 one off of Craigslist, or someone's
like
trying to get rid of
possible
something.
double het or something.
Yeah. Someone posted something in a ball python group the other day. It was they're like, I was told my snake is spider, yada yada yada, like 5 things, and we're like, that's just a spider.
Yeah,
It-
Lil, stop it.
But that not knowing tells me that person was not ready for a breeding plan or a breeding project or a business. If you can't look at that snake and not know that that's not what it is, it may not be the thing for you at this moment in time.
Yep.
I mean, that's something that you can like grow into too.
Yes, which you
everyone
should.
start somewhere.
Which
But
you
people aren't
should.
going to really take you seriously if you're like, yeah, I have all these things. I'm a big breeder, and it's just a spider.
Well, that's the problem. Is like I think people are so excited about being accepted as one of the bigger names. When
Yeah.
that's why we made a joke about I've got a logo. Everyone's first thing is to make a logo before they even breed a snake.
I know.
Before they've
I
kept
did
a
it too,
snake,
though, so I can't even say
Exactly.
anything.
But before anybody's even kept a snake for longer than 6 months, you'll see they've already knocked out a logo and got shirts and stickers. And I'm like, you don't even know if this thing's going to make it to adulthood. You barely know how
Right.
to care for this one.
You
animal
haven't
that you have.
cared for that species up into adulthood.
Yeah, you haven't gone an entire year. You haven't you know literally nothing about how to keep it, but you got to, and that whole is that drive to, I've got to have a logo. I've got to have this so I can be a business. And sometimes people just need to enjoy being a hobby.
Yeah, because hobbies are fun.
And again, a hobby that makes money is fine. And when we say money, we're not making like money, but you know,
Money.
if I can sell a few snakes and buy a thermostat, which my Herpstat 6 came here today.
Ooh, yeah, I like that one.
It's a sexy
in the
thermostat.
back seat of the car.
It's a sexy
My cats like
thermostat.
it too. It gets so warm that they sit on
Just
top of
lay
it
on-
and it warms their little feetsies.
That's because your de-evolved cats don't have hair like they're supposed to.
No, I know,
Blessed.
but they're adorable.
Blessed.
I think they're
Heidi said it was
adorable.
probably 3 years of breeding before we did a logo and stuff.
Yeah, you're doing it right then.
There you
Everyone
go.
else like jumps into it all crazy.
Okay.
Shit, I think we're coming up on 3 years and we
Yeah.
still don't have a logo.
Don't have a logo.
Not for that side of the business.
They just got a name.
I was going to
not
say
that
the
long
name
ago.
came up is pretty cool though.
But yeah, it's just the whole business side of reptiles. It's when you hear it talked about in certain circles on social media, it gets people like shit on the idea of business. They're shitting on the idea of people that are doing it incorrectly. There's tons of people that are doing it correctly, but the people that are doing it correctly aren't usually just trying to shove it down your throat. Look what I'm doing before they've done anything. So,
Well, and here's the thing too, like we've been talking for an hour, maybe 45 minutes about this in general, and we haven't really talked about keeping your animals well being the number one thing, you know,
Mhm.
and giving your animals a good quality of life and being able to take care of them if they're sick. Now, I have a snake over here that's Mr. Sniffles right now, but I'm taking care of it and getting him the medication that he needs, and bringing the animal first, and not thinking that it's necessarily all about the morphs. It's about the animal itself as a being, a sentient being. Is that what it's called? I don't know.
but that also stems from the people getting into it thinking business before they ever thought hobby. If you came into it as a pet and a hobby and grew into a business, you know what it's like to properly care for, well, hopefully know what it's like to properly care for the animal and to provide all the things that it needs and to know how to deal with this situation and that situation. But if you came into it with a pocket full of cash and you just bought some adult snakes all of a sudden, you didn't go through all the headaches of how to properly raise this or get temperatures right. Like all the stuff that we had to do when we started out with pets.
And then you have people too that they have the money and they can buy into it, but they also have the mentorship. So they're not going to be left just to stray, so they have that support and have the people. And that's awesome if you have that,
Finding that support, that should be part of your business plan. If you're putting serious money into this, 99% of the time, it's a business plan.
Well, if you're putting serious money into it and giving certain people serious money, they're likely going to give you support.
Yeah.
Because they, like it's a mutual thing there. So. Which is a tactic too of building your network. P.S.
Don't need to
buy from people that you want mentorship from.
I do it all alone. But yeah, I don't know. And then Robert's over there selling racks to all the people laughing at him.
Yep. Actually, I am selling a rack right now. Actually, a cage.
A cage?
Rack, yeah.
Because now Robert's become a cage builder.
Hey, look at that.
Yep.
Robert likes cage building more than rack building.
Is that true?
Yes.
Why?
It's more interesting. There's, so many different variations with racks. They're all the same.
Mm-hmm.
And I think I like it more right now because it's easier to get the materials I need for cages. Like
that makes
I've
sense too.
tried to order some freaking heat tape yesterday, and it's like, oh, sorry, might not have any for another month. Like, Jesus Christ, last week you told me you had 10,000 feet.
And then I guess some other rack builder went, hey, let me buy 10,000 feet.
I don't know if they did. That's it's about $30,000. But yeah. So it's just, probably because it's new. So I'm enjoying it, getting to try all the different things. Of course, every single person has input. Every time I post pictures of a rack, oh, you should do a little bit like this or a little bit like that. And I'm like, how about I just do it like this? And if you like that one, you buy that one. If you don't, go buy that one over there from them that has that one little tiny niche thing that you like about it. And I don't say that obviously
Bullshit,
to a
he says.
customer.
But he thinks it quite often.
He doesn't think it. He says it. He just doesn't say it to the customer. That's the
Right.
part.
Yeah.
Which is another thing when it comes to business. A lot of folks in this hobby don't have people skills, which hurts them.
That
as
is
a
Yes.
very true.
Yes.
business.
We like these animals because they don't talk back, and
Yeah.
reptile people are a certain type of people. A little bit weird. We're all a little bit weird. And we
Well,
don't really like people.
I talked about this on my recent episode that I recorded for the Pint Size Reptile podcast, is that we tend to like these animals because they are different. And we like the idea of being different, and this idea of people looking at, because as much as we want everyone to accept our animals and think they're really cool like we do, we also love the idea of the person that looks at you holding a snake going, what's wrong with that fucking person? And we're like, yeah, I'm that fucking person. Like we like that feeling of being the weird one. But the problem is some people in this hobby are too weird to function as a business, or too weird to function and just leave it at that. But we'll say as a business. And you'll see it at shows. You'll see the ones
just
who
like
can,
no social skills, basically.
yeah. They just they don't know. One, they don't know how to deal with. I think a lot of us get very short-tempered because we lump all customers as one customer. So we told one customer how to do it this way, and then when the next one comes along and asks the exact same question, we wonder why that person doesn't know the answer. But we forget that that's a whole different person starting at a whole different point, and they don't know the answer, and you're gonna have to help them. And then tomorrow you'll get a new customer who's going to ask that exact same question, because that's a whole nother person starting at a whole nother point. And so it's this whole idea of you've got to just be willing to basically say the same thing over and over again without losing your cool.
Yeah, and sometimes you're better at that than other times.
Yes.
You go through cycles of being really good with people and then not so good with people and having to like hide.
The trick is retail experience. Anyone out there who wants to know
Truly.
learn how to deal with people,
Legitimately, yeah. Mhm.
retail or like a waiter or waitress, like you'll learn how to smile and lie to people while in your head thinking you're a fucking idiot.
Like a service industry type of background.
It's fine to think somebody's a fucking idiot. It's 100% okay to think they are stupid. But if you're trying to sell them something, don't tell them you think they're a fucking idiot or stupid. That's the trick.
Yeah, that probably won't get you very far if you're doing it that way.
But you see people at reptile shows that totally do that will totally, like, they are short-tempered with people there, and then you'll see people come online and start bashing them for it, and they should. I mean, the thing is, you are providing a service. You've got to learn how to have some customer service when it comes to that.
Absolutely.
And you sell racks. There's no way that you're going to keep selling racks if you keep telling everyone, when the person messages you, go, how much is this rack? You can't go every time. You just can't be, go to the fucking website.
Yeah, which fucking rack are you talking about? That's what I want to say.
Yeah.
How much for a 6-tub rack? Well, fuck, do you want 6 baby tubs or 6 adult tubs? Because there's a big difference.
I love that.
That's every single day, multiple times a day. But hey, I'm blessed to at least have the people contacting me, because that leads me to the opportunity to educate them and possibly make a sale.
And there have been those customers that have come to you and asked you the stupidest fucking thing and then turn around and buy quite a bit from you.
Yes, I've had a customer that this guy walked up and I'm like, this dude, he's probably going to put 6 normals in this fucking thing. I saw what your dad said. And he ended up spending it was a Slidell.
Oh, whatever.
Last year, he ended up spending like $2,000 on racks.
I know that guy.
Now,
yeah,
he's been a bit of a pain since, because he keeps melting his heat tape, because I don't think he understands how thermostats work.
Is he putting a thermometer on it, not a thermostat?
I don't know. And I keep telling him, I told him last time, this is the last time I'm replacing the heat tape for free. Done it twice. It is a you problem.
100%. It is a you problem.
Yeah,
Yes.
operator error.
We talked about that last time on here about the heat tape. That is such a that's another thing. That's one of those things in the hobby. We understand how that works. April understands how that works. We get heat tape. We understand a thermostat, and we forget that the general person, one, hasn't done the research, The general, they don't haven't, I remember trying to figure this all out when I first got into it. And you go to websites and they show you like the diagram of how to hook it up, and you'd read a sheet on how to wire it all together, and you'd figure that out. Nowadays, they just expect it to come to them ready. It needs to be ready, and so they're not going to try to figure it out. So, and it's such a scary thing when you're thinking about something that can start a house fire.
Yeah, that scares me so much.
Yeah, it's I've seriously thought about just like creating a file on my computer to just copy and paste dumb questions into.
You should,
just so I can go back later. And
you have an FAQ.
Yeah, I was going to say, yeah,
Mhm.
frequently asked questions section.
I do. Lately, it's been a lot. I notice we go through cycles in this hobby where we have a bunch of new people and then we don't. And then we have a bunch I don't know what it has to do with the holidays or tax season or what. But
once we get through this downtick in everything right now, even like the stock market is tanking
1,000 points yesterday.
Once we get through this and people start doing better again, you'll see that influx of people back into the hobby because they'll have money they can spend, and then we'll have to get back into explaining how things work and all this. Like it's a cycle.
And also sometimes it's building a relationship with someone over years, where you have that one person where you educated them and maybe they didn't have the money, but they liked something on your table, and they, that was their dream animal then. So they just kept saving and saving and saving. And then it took, a couple years, whatever, for them, but you were there, you supported them, you educated them, you put in the time. It's not instant necessarily.
Yep.
Yeah. Well, and then again, if you're doing this as a business, if you're doing this as a way to make money, solely make money, for you, this is how you make money to survive. You've got to make those connections, whether they always turn into a sell or not. You have to be willing to try and make those connections because they can, and you can't risk them not turning into a sell, and I don't say a sell in the sense of only think of money, but if you're a business, you have to think of money, which is why it always kills me when people are like, they're just thinking about the money. Well, no, fuck, it's a business. That's
right.
If they went about this going, not thinking about the money, that's a charity. That's not, they don't care. Like, this is a business. At some point, you have to think about the money while also thinking about the other side. So, it's just one of those things you always see that pisses me off. I'm like, it's all about the money. Well, not all, but if it pays the bills, it's a big part about the money. People like to eat, have electricity.
I don't get up every morning and drive 30 minutes
for fun
to the shop.
It's just for fun.
Go in there and bust my ass all day just because it,
So at the same time,
it's what I want to do. So
at the same time as you have to have patience with the customer needs to realize, don't come to that person and go, I see you got it for 500. You do 350?
Fucking
we hit a nerve.
Fucking Longview this weekend. That was, can you do 300 cash? No, cash doesn't mean shit these days.
Well, let's be like, this stuff costs money. I didn't shit this rack. Like, it costs money to buy the stuff to melt.
Yeah, let me give you all my profit. Sure.
Right.
That's too bad you can't just like go sign and go, rack costs this
Would
much.
you like me to donate some more racks to your future endeavors? Because that's basically what we're fucking doing right now. If I give you that big of a discount. And people will ask you that shit straight. Oh, well, I've had more than one person be like, well, I've priced PVC and I've priced heat tape, and it only costs about $200 to make that rack. I'll take fucking Bitcoin
Brendan,
all day long, especially right now, Brendan.
He's taken Bitcoin before.
Yeah, especially right now with it being down.
Oh yeah.
Shit, yeah. But people all the time are like, well, it only costs this much. And I've literally looked at one guy, I go, well, fuck me. I guess I shouldn't make any money for doing all this, right? And he was like, I was like, sorry if that came across harsh, but what you just said is extremely insulting.
Yeah.
Well, I didn't mean to insult you. Well, you did a damn good job of it.
Well, it happens on the animal side a lot because people, when they look at animals, they look at that animal costs you nothing. Yeah. Especially if you produce it.
Shit.
That animal costs you nothing, but they don't think about you. Like you said, especially with your bloods, you've raised them up for 3 or 4 years.
Yep.
Right.
Like, how much money is it if you feed an adult twice a month? Because that's about what I feed them. And if they're getting large rats, whatever large rat, I don't even know how much large rats are right now. $5-6. I don't know. I don't know how much they are.
Didn't you just place an order not that long ago?
Like $3. But still.
Yeah, and if you multiply that, that's a lot. And then that's just one animal.
And and you got electricity. And then time. Like I
that's
think
a huge thing. Time.
People don't understand the worth of time. Like, that's why a lot of people will pay someone to do what you would normally think is simple, like to fix something that you'd be like, well, you could do that yourself. I definitely could
Yes.
fix certain things myself. But money is money, and I'm not going to spend the time to do that. I'd rather spend the money to do that and have my time for something else.
Well, and
And
now
so-
like with COVID costs, everything's getting pricier.
Yeah.
So, the price of just the paper I use as bedding has gone up. The prices of rodents have gone up because rodent food has gone up. So it's like that's all taken into consideration. And now I have like a baseline amount of money that an animal goes for sale at as a baby. And then you bet every 6 months I adjust that and I put in what I'm feeding it, and I adjust the price to account for that as well.
Yeah.
Because I mean, I am paying my money to raise this animal up for you if you buy it off of me. I'm keeping it healthy. Like, it isn't that worth something too?
And you'll see some people in disconnect between like a baby, let's say, a fairly young individual, and then a year old, and they don't understand why there's a difference in the price. Like, because the other one costs more money to get to this point. That's why there's a difference in the price.
Like you said,
don't go to
the
someone.
time.
Yeah, don't go to someone and ask them, "Hey, will you sell me this thing for cheaper?" Because, I love the folks that walk around to tables assuming that you'll sell something to them cheaper because you need the money. Like,
Right.
like you're desperate. Like they're doing you a huge favor by offering you $200 less than what you asked for it because you need that money. And I'm like, that's where it sucks for them. For me, because for me, it's a hobby. I'm like, fuck it, I don't need any of that money. I can just pack it all up and bring it back home.
Yeah.
And the goal is to don't be in that position where you need the money that bad. Like if it's,
Oh God, excuse the cat.
so my dad said it's not that they don't understand, it's that they don't care. He used to work for Lowe's, and he said that he'd have people come into Lowe's and try and lowball them on shit that's in a retail store. Like that's what kills
There's
me.
a fixed cost here.
That's-
Corporate
that is
does
what it
that.
is.
I do that.
You're that person.
Really?
Well,
Does it work?
so here's the
Maybe I'll
thing.
do it.
Lowe's will have shit on clearance in one store, but not in another.
Mm.
And I'll go to that store and be like, hey, it's on clearance over there. Here it is. And they pretty much will always match it.
But that's different.
Yeah.
That's different. That thing it was on clearance in the system.
Well,
Yeah.
and like if we're going to buy an appliance, like I'm familiar with their scratch and dent policy. So if there's something that they have, but those are both
Still two
different
totally
things.
He's
Sure.
talking about my dad can't type, he's having a stroke.
Yeah, apparently. He's so mad that I was beating him up on price.
But the people would come in like lumber, and they want
Mm-hmm.
if I buy this much, will you? It costs that board still costs how much it costs.
Yeah, but they
Like,
do give you a bulk discount on lumber.
They do, but they price it on there. They tell you how much it would cost.
Sure.
You don't have to guess. But they come in like it's a flea market.
Sam's having some issues tonight.
I think he meant to say such a dick.
I think he meant eat a dick.
Or
Yes.
he meant to say you're a dick.
Yeah, one of the
It's one of those.
Either or, I feel like it would fit the
My dad's
conversation.
having a stroke while trying to type. He's old. He can't see.
Oh,
Home
goodness.
Depot has a thing they call the bid room where they'll run it through. And I mean, your prices will be different from day to day because they base it all on the lumber commodity prices.
Yeah.
But I don't buy lumber from big box stores anymore because it's fucking garbage.
Yeah.
So anyway.
I won, just in case anybody was wondering. He was
Yeah.
saying you're a dick.
Glad we got to the bottom of that.
Yep. Been called worse.
Oh,
Today.
God.
But it just always kills me when someone goes into a retail store, a regular thing on the shelf, and tries to it's a flea market. It's not a flea market.
And that's what I ask people sometimes when they're like, oh, what's the best price you can do? I say, do you do that in Walmart? Do you go into Walmart and ask them for a discount just because you don't want to pay full price? And I've seen people just go, oh, you can see it just hits them like a ton of bricks. And I said, then why would you do that to a small business that is literally what we sell is what we make, is like how we survive? I mean, I'm quick to tell people it's downright insulting to offer me 30% off of what I'm asking for it.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm extremely nice to my customers. I mean, you've all heard me interact with customers thousands of times. I mean, you have for sure. Katie has a few times. April has a little bit at shows. But I'm also very quick to call them out on their bullshit because people are so fucking entitled these days.
Oh yeah.
And they think that just because you own a business, you're not going to stand up to their bullshit. But I'll do it
Again,
in a heartbeat. I will fire a
those people
fucking
that
customer.
assume they are doing you a favor.
Yeah,
Don't get
no.
me wrong. If you buy something from me, I appreciate it, and you kind of are. It puts money in my pocket.
But if I'm losing money on it, you're not doing me a
You know,
favor.
yeah, that's not how that works.
Yeah, I don't know what kind of margins you think we're making, but it's getting worse and worse every day.
Well,
now.
you've seen people lately in the rack business that are not going to be able to make it because they don't understand what their shit cost.
Yep.
You know, they don't understand how much they're
about,
actually
like knowing your worth and you just standing up for what you're worth too. You know, that's a big thing in like female entrepreneurship, and like online businesses and stuff like that is not cutting prices for your friends, so to speak, because you know your worth and you know what your product is worth and the time you put into it, everything we've been talking about, you know.
Yep.
Just because
if they're
your
a friend, they're
doesn't
not going
mean
to
give
ask you for a discount.
Right. And exactly 100%.
And if they're a true friend, I feel like they're going to be upset when you give them a discount.
James wasn't mad when I gave him a discount on cages.
But didn't he go build those cages himself?
With that
labor cost cut.
He also didn't ask for a discount or expect a discount.
Wait a minute. He went and built those because I lost him that day at the house.
On Sunday, I will be there helping load back up whatever is not sold.
Absolutely.
So, yeah. Like my dad said, people also think that because you own a business, you're loaded. You get that all the time. People assume you always get the must be nice.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. It's real fucking nice working 70, 80 hours a week and most weeks not making any money. I love it. I do. Look, I love owning my own business. Most days. There's a few days where it's just like, what the fuck am I doing? But then I think about how much I hated pretty much every job I ever had.
Working for somebody else.
What you could be doing.
I loved being a cop, but I also hated being a cop. I could not do it today.
Yeah.
I got to be a cop back when you could be a cop, and I couldn't do it today. And I really, I had a couple of jobs that I really enjoyed, but you're always at someone else's mercy.
Yeah.
I had a job that I loved, great company, but my boss was a narcissist. And
now you work for a narcissist. Wait.
Yeah, I'm married to one. No. And he made it very unenjoyable to be there. And it got to where, I was making 120 grand a year, but fucking fucking hated it. Hated my life.
Yeah.
And had to walk away.
Yeah, you got way more freedom now.
Yes. Like this morning I woke up and I was like, oh, fucking tired. I was like, we don't have a ton to do today just because we don't fucking have much material. We have lots of PVC.
Tons of PVC.
And
all the rest of the stuff.
Anybody wants a cage?
I said,
cage.
I texted Lucas and I was like, I'm not going to be there till about 9. And I was like, I actually need to run some errands this morning and a couple of places I need to go to open till 8. I needed to go to Target and get some tubs, and I needed to go to Lowe's and get some screws and bolts, things that I use on the cages. Because Jason Brumley has me building the 2x2x2 cubes.
For green trees.
Yeah, because the guy who, I guess the company that everybody's been buying them from for years went out of business.
Really?
Yeah, it's pvccages.com and the domain's for sale. So we've reached out to him because that would be a great domain to own.
Yeah. The 2x2x2 is like the green tree model. That is
like I sent him I built one today and he's like, that looks great, but you need to do this and this because the green tree people are he said they are the he didn't say this. I said this, that it seems to me that green tree people are the saltwater keepers of the reptile world. They want everything just perfect.
Yeah, of the snake world.
Yeah,
because I would go dart frog people.
Yeah, for sure.
Are like that.
For
dart frog people will pay whatever the fuck you tell them it is.
Right. So we have one built that I'll sell, but I put screws in the front. They want it clean.
Yeah.
So we came up with a way to do that.
Ooh.
It requires, a little bit more cutting, a little bit more time, and some gluing and whatnot. But
and because of that, you can add more money to it on what the cost would be because you put
your
more
ass.
time into it,
Yeah.
more skill needed to go into it to make it.
Yeah, because like I talked to Jason, Bill Stiegel, and Michael Pinnell. They were the ones who Jason's the one who pushed it.
Bill there this weekend?
Yeah,
that's cool.
Yeah, and then Bill was there, and Bill was like, "Yeah, if somebody makes them, you're going to sell them because nobody else probably shouldn't have fucking said that on here. To be honest with you,
it'll be fine. No one else can get PVC. No one else has a warehouse just full of PVC.
I had I had someone else at the show this weekend who builds a few cages and sells them. He's pretty upset with me because he can't get any PVC. He thinks I bought all of it, and I'm like, well,
All of
You
it.
did
All of
clearly.
it in the whole
Yeah.
world. You bought all
You
the
have all of it.
PVC.
You
like
have
I'm
all-
more than happy to sell you all
Oh
you
my
want.
God.
I'll sell you all
but
you
not
want.
at a discount because it's a fucking business.
Right. Right.
Definitely not going to sell you the
Uh,
PVC at what I pay for it, so
Well-
that you can sell shit at the same price I said.
Like I was looking earlier today at screws, and they've gone up again.
You're getting screwed on screws.
Oh my God, it's fucking brutal, man.
Tracy says she even gets people wanting discounts on her $15 shirts.
That she's probably making $5 on.
Right.
Maybe,
You're not
maybe
making
$5
that much
on.
on
Yeah.
that.
And in her business, that's a volume game.
Yeah.
You know, you got to sell volume to make money. Yeah. Why would
Mhm.
you ask for a fucking discount? I just.
So
But you know, I'm in a group on Facebook called "Let Me Ask My Wife."
I'm in that one too. It's pretty
And
good.
It's pretty good because it's nothing but reptile people sharing their experiences with people messaging them, and
With like 2 pages of conversation to end with, let me ask my
talk
wife.
to my business partner.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And then nothing. And then nothing.
Nothing.
Never,
Ghost.
never again.
yeah. But there's a lot of them in there where people just ask. You know, they'll, hey, I see you have this snake on Morph Market for $600 plus shipping. Could you do it for $300 shipped?
I see that all the time. Yeah.
I'll post it on my YouTube channel. Go look at their YouTube channel. Yeah, you have 30 fucking followers.
Real great marketing. Thank you.
So I had a few people. You do have to ask
Douglas
your
Ray
wife.
White, you do
Douglas
have
Ray
to-
White. We know that.
You have to ask your wife. I know your wife.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
Hey, I need everybody to stop. Douglas Ray White figured out how to use Facebook and his phone
StreamYard.
thing.
And
It's-
I know.
Yep.
So I mean
He's-
that's talent right there.
I didn't get to see Doug and Tasha at the end. I don't know how they did this weekend.
If anybody, for everybody on
If
earth
you
who has not
Don't
met
know
Douglas Ray
him.
White,
You're missing out in your life
You
because
are-
he's
you
phenomenal.
are missing out on one of the best people I've ever met.
Good people.
So we got to have him on at some
And
point.
we do
Just-
adore his wife as well.
His wife's okay.
Whatever.
Oh. Anyways. Well, it's on the brighter side. You talked about bringing home animals this weekend. I don't know what the other two are, but let's talk about the one that was a surprise.
So apparently everybody knew that my wife was looking for a cherry head redfoot tortoise for me, except me.
Did she tell you what the other option was?
No.
So there were 2 possible reptiles, and I pointed her in the direction of that one because I know the path you want to take with the other one.
Mm-hmm.
So it was either the cherry head or speckled king. But
Yeah,
I
no,
knew you
I'm
wanted.
good. I'm glad she did what she did,
I knew you wanted to catch native speckled kings and produce your own,
and then release them.
and then release them. I
Yeah.
knew that, so I told her to go for the cherry head instead.
Yep. And then Logan bought. He had some credit with Russell, and then he worked for Russell some this weekend, and of course he had Dad up for a little bit of cash. He bought a hypo tangerine vanishing pattern milk snake. Pretty freaking cool because the bands vanish like as it goes down.
Well,
And-
it's
Like,
over
there's so
time will it
much
go away.
there in that.
I know. That was,
Yeah, that's why I had to like close my eyes and go, "What was it again?"
what was on the
Yeah,
list?
say
And
it
that
again.
seriously might still not be right. It's an orange milk snake with some black stripes.
That sounds cool though.
He got his white-sided black rat out earlier that he got from Michael Pinnell at Temple, like
Yeah.
4 months ago. And it was like this big. Now it's like this.
Yeah, when you feed them, they grow.
Shit.
Okay.
And then Rachel got a Madagascar cat eye snake.
She got the one Pinnell had.
She got the one Pinnell had.
That's a cool cat. Cool cat.
I don't
cool
know.
snake.
They worked out a deal on it. I don't know what the deal was, but yeah.
That is a really cool
It is
snake.
a freaking
I held
cool
that one at Lafayette because he had it
Yeah.
at Lafayette, and I got to hold that one. That's a really cool looking snake.
Yeah, apparently their venom's a little
They're a rear fang.
it's a little more potent.
I think cat eyes are they a Boega? I think they're a Boa. I can't remember.
I took a
they
Cool
are.
picture. The eyes, dude, are just
They're really neat. They're
I
really
know
cool
people
looking
can't
as
see this because I'm
babies.
showing James a picture on my phone.
Is it a
but
little
the
baby
eyes on this
picture?
thing- No, it's an adult.
Is
Oh,
it
it's an adult.
Yeah, it's an adult female.
You text it to me.
Yeah, I will. It's just the face, but let's see.
No, it's not a Boega. I don't think. But they are cool. They are a mildly venomous. April knows all about mildly venomous snakes.
Yeah,
I
getting bit
do.
while doing the podcast, right?
Yes.
Did you see that Travis had some of those born?
Yes, he
Hatched?
sent me. Yeah, he sent me pictures and stuff when they laid and then when they hatched. So it's exciting.
That's the beak
congrats,
snakes?
Travis. Yeah.
Because Travis just uses the scientific name, and I'm too lazy to even Google what it is.
Yeah, he said there's
But
I
makes
think
sense now.
like 4 cases of people being bit, April being one of them. And so he could stick his hand in there and he could be case number 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9. He just got bit by all of them.
And I guess
So.
it's kind of cool that I have
Oh, my
I have something going for me. Number
That is your
4.
claim to fame.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. That
Oh, there's
wasn't very
Jason right
fun.
there.
I'll tell you that.
Yeah.
That was like
Yeah.
2 weeks of my arm not feeling great.
Ugh.
Yeah. Not fun.
Victor said speckled kings all the way, which we agree.
Yeah.
But there's a plan for those.
So
And there's
Robert has a plan.
when it warms
Mhm.
up, we're going to find those things.
Problem is, for 2 years I've been looking for one, and I've only found DORs.
We're going to find them.
Aw.
Yeah. Well, this summer
We got to find some property. We got to find somebody right here with property that will let us throw 10 on
Dude,
it.
Reese, that guy Reese Hammock that I'm friends with on Facebook, he went herping Saturday, flipping 10, found like 14 copperheads.
Jeez.
And he's like flipping 10 and be like 5 of them under one piece. Because it was just, it was cold, but then the sun was out.
Yeah.
And yeah, I'm like, shit, right here in Fort Bend County.
Must be nice to have a rich dad that builds racks.
Yeah. Let me tell
Yeah,
you,
Logan's got that rich rack building dad.
Rich Dad didn't sell shit this weekend.
So
it was weird. Sean did his job. He got people in the door.
long
You just can't make them spend money.
He said that they were stingy with their money this weekend.
Mhm.
Longview is a
I
weird
saw that.
place.
Look, he did exactly what we need him to do. He got people there. You can't make them part with. Like, I literally had one guy who on Sunday afternoon had his cash out, counted it out on top of the rack, and then his wife goes, well, what about this one over here? And they kind of went back and forth, and he's like, we're gonna go home and measure our room and decide. I think I'm gonna
Oh,
order a
gosh.
couple and put his money up. I'm like, fuck. Most shows I wouldn't care, but man, I was like, that sale would have made at least covered expenses for this show, But it is what it is. This weekend I think is gonna be good.
I think the one day Conroe show it's going to be good.
What was it? I think it was Doug that asked. No, it wasn't Doug. I forgot who it was that asked in the group, in the Herbs group. So what if the one day show's really, really, really good?
We just start doing one day shows.
No. I don't want to drive 7 hours to freaking Slidell for a one day show.
But what if that one day show made you the same as a 2-day show?
I'll drive 7 hours.
Legit.
Have you made your tortoise table yet for your cherry head?
Not yet.
How big do those things get? Are they little
15
things?
inches. A big one's like 15 inches,
Oh, okay.
18, 15 inches.
That's doable.
Yeah, they're a medium-sized tortoise. They're not that bad. They're not sulcatas. So,
Yeah.
Yeah.
but mine are loving my tortoise table. They go crazy.
Good.
And they're eating a ton. I'll catch them laying underneath I have the heat light or the heat and the light separate. So I'll catch them laying underneath the UV light
Mm-hmm.
randomly and then moving over to the heat. It's just fun to watch them in there. I'm
What
glad I have
species
them
do you
set up.
have? I don't know what you have.
I've got a cherry head also that Katie got me for our
He has
anniversary.
the one that Robert was gonna go back and buy, but I already bought it.
That is true. And then I have
That's June Conroe.
and then I have a small sulcata that I'm growing up.
No.
I'm
Little baby.
cohabbing. I'm evil and cohabbing tortoises.
My friend did that and one ate the other and killed it. So
Oh fuck.
Yeah.
Do you know the tortoise table, bud?
And they were really expensive, those really, really big ones. They were those and
Oh.
expensive,
Yeah, 'cause,
maybe not legal to have, but
Cherry heads. Redfoots.
Big meat.
Protein. Yeah.
Yeah, but my sulcata is bigger than it, so it can just
Nah.
punch it in the face.
Gotcha.
Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle style. Oh,
I could have sold a tortoise table if I would have had one with me this weekend. I had someone come in like she had her money. I'm here for a tortoise table. I was like,
time to make you a tortoise
don't
table.
have one. Yeah, I probably should make one for this weekend since I have 6 tables now.
So
I have the whole 6-pack now.
yeah, cool. Yeah, because I didn't have snakes to sell.
Hmm.
I was very sad about that.
are you still
I was-
doing your springtails and stuff? Like or your
don't have
ice
spring-
pods?
I have the ice pods. My daughter is taking care of them. So
No.
we're raising up a bunch
I was
of
gonna
them.
say she actually may have some. Did she say she wanted to sell ice pods this weekend? Like take some to sell or no? Have you
about
talked to
it.
her?
We talked about it. We may. She
Who?
may.
Joe.
She may sell some. Somebody set up
She's
a little thing.
like, she comes in because they're in the closet in here, and she comes in and she does everything with them, and
And then as long as I don't do anything, I'm good.
it's great.
Logan.
That's
he's
pretty cool,
overrun
yeah.
with- Logan's
Yeah.
overrun with isopods,
Mhm.
and I keep telling him, go around the show and talk to some of these bigger, like Sean Colley and them, and see if they'll buy from you.
Yeah,
Sell them for a little less, but You know,
But
wholesale.
sell 'em,
Out.
yeah.
Yeah, wholesale. I got 13 corn snakes that are going to the show this weekend that are not coming home with us.
Where'd they come from?
The ones I got from the Ruas like
forever
6
ago?
months ago.
They're all eating and everything. They're
Oh
good.
yeah, they're great.
There you go.
But I've been for months. I need y'all to take pictures of them so I can put them on Morph Market. I need y'all to take pictures of them so I can put them on Morph Market. And
That's where I'm at. I haven't done it.
And I was like, look, I did this, so I bought these so that we could sell them, get them all, make sure they're eating, established and whatnot, sell them, and then I can make my money back out of it, and you can make some money off of Logan. But at this point, I'm selling them, and if I only make my money back, you learn a
It's like
lesson.
the dryer rule. When you find money in the dryer, you get to keep it, but that means you have to be the one who does the laundry.
Right. Yeah, she can keep all the money she finds in the dryer if that's how it works.
That's how I got Josephine to start doing the laundry, because she
Really?
was like, wait, I get
So
to
do you
keep it
do you
if I
leave like
find it.
$1 in
Every
for
now and then I
everyone?
will. But it's also 50 cents every time she takes clothes out of the dryer for me when I ask her, because that's one of her chores on her chart. So
Darren isopods will not eat mites.
No.
Sorry, man. Or sorry for me, I guess. There are predatory mites that will eat mites, but then you have to have the predatory mites set up. It's
But won't the predatory mites eat the mites and then die, and then they're all gone?
yeah, but you got to have it set up to keep the predatory. Like they need, like I don't think the predatory mites. I can't put them in like my sterile cage on paper, because they would need everything to be able to keep them alive. They got to stay somewhat moist, I'd imagine, and out of I think I don't know, but
Sounds like a lot.
it sounds like a lot.
Mhm.
So right now I'm just gonna spray chemicals all over my snakes until
Again,
one of them dies.
So one
Mites
of
and
them-
snakes. It's gonna be one of them.
Are you using the frontline spray? Because I really like that stuff.
I did on the first time around. I guess I think
Mhm.
the problem is one, it's expensive as hell.
It is pretty
Um,
expensive. It goes a long way though.
It does, but it dries them out so fucking bad, which is the
Mm.
point. It helps kill the mites. But man, like when my snakes would shed after frontline treatment, their skin
It's like
is
flaky.
Yeah, it's not good. So I'm trying the Nix. I'm trying the Nix solution. It's a little less. It's
I've
not
used
as
that one
strong,
before too.
but I'm gonna
Yeah.
try that. But I'm gonna treat them like every 3 days right now, and really stay on top of it and try and wipe them out. I thought I'd gotten rid of them, and the numbers had gone really down and gone away, but apparently they came back. So
Yeah. They're a pain in the butt.
fucking mites. It sucks when we've had kept snakes for like 20 years and you have never had to deal with them, and all of a sudden it's just all over the fucking place.
yep. Oh, trust me, it's been. I think Rachel said she's down to like 2 snakes that still had like 1 mite each on them.
Well, and it's just like I said, a lot of people will hear mites and they will assume that your collection is
bad
dirty and filthy and
keeper or
everything's bad.
whatever.
Yeah.
right.
But like when I walk into my room is nice and clean, and I'm like, how the fuck do I have mites in this room?
Right. Well, it's like those baby corn snakes. I pulled them out of the snake room months ago.
Yeah.
Because I knew I needed to sell them, and I
Not
didn't want them to
risking
get
that.
mites.
Right.
And corn snakes aren't, they're colubrids. They're not as bad about getting mites as pythons and cardinals.
I have really found certain species in that room
Are the ones that have it.
Some of them haven't had them at all, and they're all
Is
in
it
the room
like
together.
their scale shape and
I think
like
so.
the
I think it's that ability-
scales are more spread out?
like hognose almost don't. I've never heard of anybody with hognose getting mites because of the way their scales.
My
are.
carpet was the worst. I've got a four stack of cages with a Dumerals, a jungle carpet, and a rainbow boa and a common boa, and the carpet infested with them. There's barely any on the other ones. They're all in the same stack. Like they had to have passed the other snakes to get to it.
'Cause isn't she the one on top?
She's in the middle.
Oh.
But I don't know. She's just her scales are completely different than the other ones. She's not nearly as smooth as the other ones.
Yep.
So I guess I don't know.
But I think
There's more places to hide. There's more
Yeah.
like little
Yeah.
crevices.
I think what John was saying too, Grant was saying too, is that they can be harder to see on the carpets too because the way they get under the scale.
Yeah.
Yep.
Until
Yeah.
they're infested.
Until it's
and
too
then-
late. Have you
Yeah.
seen the picture from, gosh, it was probably like 5 years ago that I posted, where like everything was cool in my collection, and then my ivory, which is just like a yellow snake, was full of mites, huge mites. I opened the bin and it was like pepper was spilt all
That
over
was-
her.
That was my boa that passed away a month and a
Crazy.
half ago. We moved here. She was fine. She looked good. I went in one day, and then all of a sudden, like she was covered in pepper, just black spots everywhere. I'm like,
Yes.
how the fuck did this happen?
Overnight.
Jay
It's nuts.
Bagoli said that Eastern hogs get them all the time. I didn't know that. But
Hmm.
Westerns almost don't, and you can't treat Westerns the same way either. You'll kill them with
Yeah.
nicks or with
Are they just sensitive to
cheese.
that, or is because they're smaller?
Yeah. They're super sensitive to it.
So Darren Watson posted that he hasn't been able to find Frontline. Didn't you order that off Amazon?
Amazon. Yeah.
I
Can't
think
find it in
I
store because
did
none of the
maybe
stores carry
Chewy.
it. Yeah,
I
Chewy
might have
carries
got
it.
mine off Chewy, yeah. Yeah.
It's like 50
Stop
something-
yawning. You're gonna make me
I can't
yawn.
help it. I'm exhausted.
It's like 50 something bucks for the bottle, but the frontline stuff I do agree is great. But it can, depending on how many animals you're treating, it can get expensive.
And if you have babies, it's like carpet python babies. Terrell put some on that and killed them. Yeah,
Yeah.
don't do that.
That's
Don't do
why,
really
like,
small animals.
That's why I'm doing this Nix stuff, because I know the Nix is a little safer.
Yeah, we
I
learned
mean,
the
hell,
hard way on that one.
we put it on kids' heads, so I mean, it's but-
you know.
so
We don't talk about that. That's something we hardcore do not talk about in this house.
life.
Don't you say the word.
Yeah.
Ah!
she teaches the kids to get
Fuck
them.
you. Like my head itches now. Why? Why do you do this to me? I'm gonna break out in hives in a minute because that's all I'm gonna be able to think about now.
Anyways, I was looking at some of the stuff over on our Facebook
Blech.
group. There was this is one thing that Travis posted. The tagline alone just reminds me of an ex-girlfriend. It says sausage addicted kookaburra, too fat to fly.
That was hilarious though. That one was funny.
There's also one, this pops up and I posted it, and so did Jason Milleradovich. It's a skunk with a rubber boa around its neck.
Yeah.
So
Oh, I
all you
saw that.
figure is the skunk went to bite the rubber boa's tail, which looked like a head, and the rubber boa reached around and bit and wrapped, and now he's wrapped around the skunk's neck. And I'm
But it
assuming
doesn't look like it's choking it though. It looks
It's
like
not
it's
strong
just
enough.
chilling like a necklace.
there's no way it's strong enough to kill that skunk.
It's just like
But
chilling.
The problem is at some point it had to let go, and you figure as soon as it let go, the skunk probably fucking
Done.
ate it.
Mm-hmm.
But it is a funny picture for the moment before it gets eaten. Going through a bunch of the other ones. Oh yeah, they found chytrid in California in some
saw
salamander
that.
species. Yeah,
That's really scary.
I
They
know
found what?
chytrid. It's a fungal disease that's killing amphibians, frogs a lot, but a lot of
Saw
salamanders
that,
too.
yeah.
So a couple years ago, our zoo, it was the year of the frog, and our zoo did a huge exhibit on frogs. And there was a lot, we taught a lot of people about that disease. And I haven't really heard much about it since we did that a few
Well,
years back.
it's still a big issue.
I mean, I know it's still big, but
I think in the Appalachians, it's a big issue in the Smokies and all. Oh, did y'all watch Max's new video on his hack for his snake room?
No.
So he did a peg wall with hooks on it to hang
All
his
the
hooks and
photos,
his spray
yeah.
bottles and all of his
Yeah,
things that
that's
he
cool.
uses on a regular basis. He shows how to build that. And you can do it in your reptile room, in a closet, whatever. Just be able to organize your stuff.
I used command.
Yeah, I started
hooks for
using.
that.
I got
Yeah.
those because of Rachel. All right, I keep saying Rachel. April, not Rachel. Forget Rachel.
Me.
oh yeah,
Yeah.
I would get a text message with like this particular thing from Amazon. And he's like, this is what April uses. Can you buy me one? Because he doesn't buy anything from Amazon for himself. He
'cause
sends
you
it
have
to
the
me
account.
for me to do it.
Because you have the login for the account that your family
And
shares.
I've told you I would put it on your phone.
Yeah, but no, then they'll see the stuff I
Exactly.
don't look at.
Exactly.
So, anyways, that was a really good video that Max put up. Go check it out on Max's View on YouTube. Also, it's over on our Facebook group.
Shush.
Shut up, Bulb.
Yep. Shush.
There was something else I wanted to. Oh, the Rock.
Okay, that's not what I thought you were talking about.
Let's talk about the Rock. So I was watching the Manning cast. If anybody watches Monday Night Football, the last Manning cast they had the Rock on. In the background, he had a giant skull of a T-Rex, and they asked him about it, and he said, "Yeah, it's Stan, which is a famous. It's the most complete T-Rex skull found, and it was bought at auction by some secret person. They don't
Where's
know who
Stan
bought it.
now?
They
They don't know.
Someone-
That's the big thing.
Someone bought it, and it's so he had that behind it, and everybody's like, "Oh shit, the Rock was the secret person who bought Stan."
Yeah.
No, he has a giant replica, life-size replica of Stan behind him.
He came out like the next day
Yeah.
and was like, okay, let me clarify
Yeah.
this.
He
He's like,
does.
That'd be
he's
a whole
like,
big
if
thing.
I had owned this, it would be in the museum for
did-
everyone else to
he did
see how
not spend-
badass it is.
Spend millions to buy that so it could sit in his office. That's not how that's working.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's like an $11,000 replica of a which don't get me wrong. If I had
Alright,
$11,000,
It's just the head, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
I'm
You
not
don't
gonna
have
lie.
the whole thing.
If I had
No.
$11,000, I'd buy that fucking replica to put in my house. T-Rex head, fuck yeah. Travis posted this cool video of a stream aquarium, like
Yeah, that was cool.
with a flow. And
Oh, I saw that.
Yeah, where like the pleco is in there.
Yeah.
And because they're
I was holding on for
streamlined-
dear life.
Yeah,
That poor little fish. I felt
I
so bad
know.
for it.
but that
My
was one of his things he was
goodness.
talking about. Travis talked about, imagine how much that costs and how fish people do with fish versus like we've always talked about before with
We
reptile
need to
people.
up our game.
We try to find the cheapest way, which when you go back to our list of what are you looking for, if you're that person who's like one or two pets, that should be your goal. And I'm not saying that it can't be your goal if you're like someone like us who has 100, but obviously we can't keep 100 snakes. I guess we could.
You could. There are people that do.
But we're not going to keep 100 snakes in giant elaborate setups.
There's actually someone who's trying to attempt to do a bioactive setup for a blood python. So,
Really?
yeah, I'll probably have him on the podcast if it ends up being successful, so other people can.
Let me know
learn
how it
from
goes
that
when
and
it
do
pees.
Exactly, that's the whole thing. Like, how are you going to take on that? And he has a whole plan, and he has it all really thought out really well.
A huge drainage layer.
I know, right?
Just
Honestly,
to hold the urine.
Yeah, we'll see. So it'd be interesting to see how that goes. He's very, very confident that's going to work. But
That's awesome, though.
yeah. Because then, I mean, there's more than one way to skin a cat, right? So there's more than one way to keep these animals.
Says the person with
Lil,
the ball
shush,
sack.
don't. Plug your ears, Lil.
Oh, God.
Robert, you posted one about the possum.
I did.
It was
Somebody actually did a study.
because there's that meme that always floats around. It says possums eat this amount of ticks and help to fight Lyme disease and all.
Mhm.
Oh, is it true?
No.
Do they?
It used to be, but now they're not eating as many ticks as they used
Well,
to.
and the one study they used for that were captive possums that they put in a box with a bunch
And,
of
like,
ticks.
Oh,
And
that's
then, like,
stupid.
they seeded
That's
them with
dumb.
ticks and then counted how many ticks fell off of them and said, okay, so they must have eaten the rest of them. They didn't check them to see if they were still on them. They just assumed that after 14 days they would have fallen off. And by that, they
That
said,
was a
oh,
great study.
okay, so it ate this many ticks. So in a year, it would have eaten this many.
Gotcha. So not real science.
No, not even close.
Gotcha. So that meme has lied to everybody.
Yeah.
So feel free to hit possums on the road, is what you're saying. Got it. Okay.
Don't
Callie
do
Grant.
that.
Callie Grant, don't listen to me.
Fucking hate possums.
Callie Grant.
Speaking of Callie Grant, go ahead and share the other one that was posted.
the one I posted,
Oh, God.
which was a person who turns
God.
rats into pencil pouches
Yeah.
with
Oh, I did
With
not
the
see
sharpener
that.
in
with
the
the
bubble.
pencil sharpener in the asshole.
Yeah.
yeah.
Are you
Oh.
serious? Like, is that
Yes.
really?
It's
Yeah,
and they put,
Yes.
it's-
Go ahead and read my comment, James.
They
I
put
read
like googly eyes
I
on
read it out loud today
Oh, yeah.
at the shop because it was funny.
Yeah.
Oh,
I
where
saw
is
it.
I can't find it.
Oh, God.
I posted it in here somewhere, didn't I?
Yeah. You posted it today.
I can't.
That's because they don't do all comments. They just did relevant comments.
I can't even find the post.
Hold on.
The rat post has
Those-
disappeared.
Those
No, I didn't delete
algorithms,
it.
man.
Katie, did you delete the rat
I did
post?
not. I did not.
It's not in there. I wonder if Facebook got offended
No
Wow.
way.
by my rat with pencil sharpener in its asshole. Can you find it?
No, and I don't see where John Grant and oh, here it is. There it is. Okay.
Oh, okay. I just
Um,
don't see it. It must be showing me relevant. And
so it says anyone need gifts for family members, and it's the world around you, EWE. And I make these pencil cases out of rats, and it's the most terrifying thing I have ever seen in my life.
it's fucking
I already don't like mice and rats. Like dead, alive, it doesn't matter.
Yep,
I
they're
don't
okay.
like them. So my comment was, I will divorce you before you can blink your eyes. Do you understand? And I am 100% serious. Like if anyone thinks I'm going to get this for Katie for fun, we will no longer be acquaintances. Period. End of discussion.
Hey, everybody listening to this,
I'm not even
you're not
kidding.
acquaintances with her anyway. So,
So of course, John Grant says, those are so cool. Callie wants one something fierce. I'm like, of course she does, because she's a badass who's not afraid of
We
anything.
should all go in together. Get Kelly one for her birthday.
how much
Now
is
that
Did
I
anybody
will
look up
support.
how much it is?
I'm about to right now.
Well, so then Callie, being the wonderful person that she is, she's like, what about this one? And she starts sending me all the other examples from the website. So there is a purse that is a raccoon
I
folded
saw-
in
I
half.
saw her post that.
There's another one that's like an alligator purse.
I saw that one.
And I
Jason
will say that
Miller-Radovich.
alligator purse one, like, I'm like, it's kind of weird because I'm not big on taxidermy stuff. Like, it just weirds me out.
Miller-Radovich posted a wallet that goes along with it.
Mhm. And so, like, I'm like, okay, those don't freak me out as much as, but the mouse, like, they literally unzip its back, and that's where you store things.
The-
Like, I just,
Yeah, that's
Fucking
bizarre.
worst
I
website I've ever been on.
I can't.
What kind of website did you expect for somebody who taxidermies rats and
just-
puts pencil sharpeners in their asshole?
I cannot.
I mean, they're creative, so I would have expected their website to be pretty good.
Victor, no, I will make your life a living hell. I
Victor,
am
go
not
for it.
kidding. Don't do it.
Don't worry about it. She's all talk. She's not gonna
No.
do shit.
Don't do
I'm
it.
telling everybody, she's all talk.
No.
Brendan said made out of guinea pig.
No.
I know where we can
Poor
find one.
Penelope. No.
Tracy says she didn't expect the ass part. Women never do. It just kind of happens sometimes.
God.
Here's when they made it into a submarine.
So-
Oh, sorry, I lost it.
oh, fuck.
Jeez.
Here's a pair of
April.
underwear that say "Get your rat out."
No.
April
Goodness.
Victor says, "Are you planning on having Dan Magano on your podcast?"
Oh, I'm sure at some point. I just don't know.
I mean, there's only
I'm trying to.
there's only like 15 blood people. She'll have all 15 on at some point.
Yeah, I'll have all 15. I'm trying to highlight people that really haven't been highlighted before, and get people that are comfortable talking about certain topics or have expertise in it. So, whatever you think that maybe Dan has expertise in, I can get him on for that.
Ryan Goslow posted. I've seen this video before. It's from BBC. It's of the horny toad or the horn lizard fighting off a snake.
I think it's a coach whip.
Yeah, it's a really cool video. Which is funny. I go to Half Price Books like once a week, and I buy every reptile book they have. So they're never gonna have reptile books.
That's why I can never find them when I go
They'll
there.
never have them in
It's
the
all
clearance
because
section.
of James.
But I bought one on horn lizards.
Did
I
she
don't know why
finally
you
put
buy
it in
them?
here?
You don't read them.
No, but I collect them. I also don't play with my snakes, but I buy them, so it doesn't.
Dude, some of the stuff on this website is amazing.
What just happened? Oh,
Oh,
it was your mouse. Like the whole screen on our TV just went away. I was like, oh my God, what just happened?
oh Isaac Kyle said with spring and summer around the corner, which is funny because we just finally got winter. So it's hard to believe that's
Until
happening. It says, "What are you looking forward to finding this year?" And my big thing is I want to go out west. Our plan this year is to go out west. Which I talked to Joe Phelan. He wants to go out west too because
Yep.
he may live closer to us now. In case anybody's wondering. So I want to find a west.
I feel like it would be wonderful for you to take a weekend trip away.
Yeah.
says the person who
That's
just
not
left
it.
for 2 days and just came back.
Take our child with you.
Oh, no, no.
Well, I have to take Logan.
I was
There's no
say,
way
if
I'm going.
Logan's going, take Joe. They'll entertain each other with video games.
Ugh. Then I gotta like watch out.
I did just
die.
get back. I've been gone for 2 days, but
But
I expected the kitchen to be
I
clean
am-
when I came home.
well, you can expect it all. you
It was
want.
not.
I don't know why you expected that.
I don't either. You would think by now I would know better.
That's so it sounds like it's your own fault that you are upset. All right. Did you see the picture of the redfoot that Nathan also posted? Which I'm assuming is a cherry head.
Yeah, the super red one.
Yeah, the super red one. That was really pretty. I also found this thing on the Cryptic Zoology Facebook group about the hoop snakes. The old myth of hoop snakes that'll bite their tail and then chase you in a wheel. And apparently at the time, like in the 1930s, there was a guy that offered $10,000 for proof of a hoop snake, which obviously he never had to pay out on. But I've always heard it with coach whips.
I was going to say, this sounds very similar to the coach whip.
I've heard
Whip.
that they'll whip you,
Myth.
and yeah.
Love snake myth.
What would a hairless rat look like? Well,
A ball
They
sack.
have them.
yeah, I think he's talking about.
He's talking about
maybe
in purse
As a
form.
pencil- as a
into a purse.
it would look like
skin.
you could make it into a coin purse, and then it would be your coin purse.
It would be your coin sack.
Coin sack. Oh, all right. So here was the genetics one. This was posted by Ashley Howdy. What?
No, guys.
Katie and April are both like, y'all are
No,
fucking
guys.
children. Wait, we're not fucking children.
No, I'm not.
Terrible.
Whoa, this just took a turn.
We are fucking children.
Grammar
You are
matters.
acting
Yeah.
like fucking children.
Children.
Another reason my grammar is important.
Grammar is important. Commas,
Commas
people.
save lives, people.
and jail sentences. Oh shit. Anyways, Ashley Howdy shared a post between a conversation she had on Facebook with somebody about genetics. And so I wanted to go ahead and explain why this person was wrong and Ashley Howdy was right. And of course, Ashley Howdy was right and this person was wrong. But let me read this person's he put it on Facebook, so it's public, so I don't give a shit. Here it goes. Lizard Wizard Reptiles said, okay, follow me on this. This is what I would formally label a 66%, whatever PHOAX, anyways, whatever recessive gene, 66% animal. Just the other day, I was talking to Tom over at Gecko Logical. He dropped some much needed knowledge on me, which, by the way, I'm assuming either Tom is wrong or this guy misunderstood Tom, whoever Tom is. The way I understood our conversation, which you didn't apparently, was that 66% hets do not exist. They totally do. It's not a thing. No matter what, all non-visual animals of a recessive trait that hatch from two known 100% het bred together will always run a 50% chance at being an actual heterozygous specimen, which is not completely wrong. I'll explain in a second. Said, whew, did you get that? It took he and I a few minutes to go around the subject before it clicked for me, which it obviously didn't.
And I get what he's saying, but they're
I
talking
get-
about apples and oranges.
Well, he misunderstood, I think. So for those that don't understand genetics, if you breed two 100% het animals together, these are two animals that both carry the trait but do not show it. So let's say albino ball pythons. They are two normal looking ball pythons that carry the trait for albino. If you breed them together, every egg has a certain probability of being a certain outcome. Each egg has the probability of either being 25% chance of being albino, a 50% chance of being heterozygous, carrying the trait and not showing it, and a 25% chance of being completely normal. And here's the problem. Of all the normal looking babies, you have no idea which ones are the het and which ones are the normal. So mathematically, we say you have a 66% chance of it being het because we can get rid of the albino. We know what it is. We know it carries both recessive traits. Ignore that baby. A normal baby can either be 50% or it can either be het or not het. But the problem with the way the probability comes up in a Punnett square, which, by the way, if you're going to breed snakes, please learn how to do a Punnett square.
Mm-hmm.
It's simple genetics. If you don't know how to do it, there's a million videos online that can teach you how to do simple genetics. But because of it, there is a 66% chance that baby is het, and there's a 33% chance that it is just a normal. This guy does not understand that, and he is saying that every baby that comes out normal is a 50% chance of being heterozygous, which is not true.
Because one guy told him that.
Well,
I mean,
what
it's either that animal either has it or it doesn't.
that is true,
But out of a totality of the clutch, it is a 60% likelihood
Yeah,
that animal has it. They're two different things that he's kind of talking about, I feel.
If you click on the link to the post
yeah,
that she put in there, he has edited it pretty heavily. He put a big edited at the top.
edited.
And he basically says that right or wrong, that's how he's labeling his animals from now on.
But that's wrong.
I agree.
100%. He later on said, because Ashley Howley went back and tried to explain
He said, unless someone can give him some academic work surrounding that.
All simple, like
I know.
I'm going to be teaching it in about 4 weeks to high school kids.
So my goal is I will never buy a fucking thing from Wizard Reptiles because
he doesn't understand
know what the fuck he's got
doing.
Apparently.
Well, because this is what he said. If the hatchling is not visual, it eliminates one parent from the equation, which it totally fucking doesn't, because that's what happens when you breed two things together. Both parents matter.
Right.
So he says it eliminates one parent from the equation because at least one did not contribute, which is utter bullshit. They both contributed. That's how breeding works.
But he's saying they did not contribute that visual gene. He's like leaving out some of his logic.
But in that case, he doesn't know which one didn't. You can't just cancel out a parent. So therefore, you only have one parent that could contribute. Therefore, the odds can only be 50%. Prior to the egg hatching, the odds can be different. We sell hatched animals, and therefore it can only be 50% possible het or 100% het or visual, which again, I think one thing people understand is each egg is its own Punnett square. Every egg, not the litter, and that's a big problem. The litter is not a Punnett square. Yes,
right.
Each egg is a Punnett square, which gives you 4 possible options. If it's just one single recessive trait that you're tracking, 4 possible options.
Yep.
So again, if the baby comes out looking normal, you don't know if it is the het or the normal. So therefore, those 3 options in the Punnett square that would all visually look normal, 3 options, which means each one is 33% chance. 2 of those options are hets, which equals 66%. So it is a 66% chance that it is, which is why when you are buying animals for a breeding project or for business, I strongly recommend not buying anything less than 100% het or visual. Because, and now if you don't care or if you're willing to take the risk, that's fine. But at a 66% het doesn't mean that 66% of that snake is recessive. It means that there's a chance that it's not. You're playing the lottery at that point.
All right, that's why I feel like he's talking about 2 different things, because like 66% is statistics. That's what we're talking about. There's a 66% chance that animal has those genes in it. But he's saying if you take one animal and it was bred by animals that are het and has that gene in it, that animal either has 50% of that gene or none. So I see what he's saying, but that's like that's separate concepts that he's kind
Yeah.
of trying to
Yeah.
blend into one.
It's
It doesn't
it's
work.
totally right in the fact that baby, if it looks normal, or with that baby in the probability totally is a 50% chance of being heterozygous. But that's also taking into account that it also had 25% chance of being albino and a 25% chance of being normal.
I will say he produces some freaking amazing looking animals. So maybe I'll take back that statement about I would never buy them. But
Nice.
maybe not hets.
Don't buy any hets. Only visuals from this guy.
I'm not gonna buy shit.
Can I
'cause
tell you a secret?
I don't care about geckos. But
When I saw the post, my initial reaction may have been to tag Travis, and I totally forgot about you.
You forgot the fact that I understand genetics also?
I totally did.
Rude.
I immediately thought of Travis. Because that's who I text. Because I don't get I've told you this 100 times.
If I'm going to buy,
That's true.
there's a bunch of other people. If I'm going to buy a crested gecko,
Patient with me.
or well, if I'm going to buy, because he sells crested geckos and he sells gargoyles. If I'm going to buy a gargoyle, there's one person I'm going to first. Anybody guess who it is? Who do we know sells?
Oh, Carl.
Going to Carl.
yeah.
Going to Carl.
100%.
Carl Vargas sells some of the most amazing geckos I've ever seen, and I'm not even a gecko
Everything.
person.
Everything he has is gorgeous.
And then if I'm going to buy like cresteds, I also like Dixie Reptiles. If I'm going to go over Dixie Reptiles, they have amazing. things.
Yeah, they really do.
So, and they understand what 66% means. So, I like
Oh,
Victor says at first
Lord.
glance, I thought 66 was a better chance than 50%. Yeah, no, that's not how that works, Victor.
So he's
Sorry.
going to label all of his hets, all of his pos hets as 50% het, no matter what, because they only have a 50% chance of being het. Is because this Tom Favaza, I don't know who he is. Maybe he's well known or respected in the
Wouldn't that
crested
just be
gecko
het? Wouldn't we
community.
just call that het?
I feel like we would.
50%.
No, 50% would still be tell you that there's a chance that it's not.
So Ashley's argument was that
Okay.
66
So it's
chance,
pos het.
chance
Yeah.
receives the recessive allele, 50% chance that it is 100% het.
But see, as labeling it as a 66% chance het tells me there's a better chance that this thing
Right.
could carry the gene, probability wise.
He said for himself, he will continue to label them as 50% and share the lineage, and a buyer can make their decision from there.
Hey, if he shares the lineage, I'm cool with that then.
Yep.
Yeah.
Me too.
Yeah.
Let the person that knows how to do genetics, I guess, before they buy it, do the Punnett square.
Mm-hmm.
But please, if you're going to breed stuff in the reptile hobby, have a basic high school biology understanding of genetics.
Tom Favaza's doubled down on that shit. Lizard, he said, if the hatchling is not visual, it eliminates one parent from the equation because at least one did not contribute. And that is
That-
1,000% incorrect.
That makes no sense.
No.
The parent still contributed an allele. It's still either contributed.
But it's just not the visual, the albino allele. That's
it
all.
contributed the dominant allele, which is the one
Therefore,
we're
you
seeing.
only have one parent that could contribute. Therefore, the odds can only be 50%. Prior to the eggs hatching, the odds can be different. We saw hatching. Okay, that's that one you read earlier. But yeah, so that's what he's saying. That
So seriously, in a month, I will be teaching this to high school freshmen,
who will understand
and
it
they will have a better understanding of how this works
than people out here selling animals.
than these guys. That's insane. Like, and even like Ashley explained to him, and he still could.
Maybe we need to get. Not that you wouldn't explain it well, but if you get someone like Travis
With a PhD.
PhD, to explain
Yeah,
it.
apparently
With
you gotta-
patience. He has the patience of Job when it comes to
Yes.
helping me. Okay.
Yes,
You do not have that much patience.
I've got
with
patience,
me.
but I'm also
you
going to
could
tell
get
this
him
guy.
and Warren Booth both to go in there. and
Warren
be like,
does not have patience.
I
Warren,
was gonna say, I don't know that Warren has the patience for me.
Warren will call that guy a twat or
I
something.
feel
It'll
like
be-
with
go drink a
me,
beer.
maybe, but with that guy, he'd be like, "Look here."
Oh. So, anyways, that post was made earlier, and I was like, I want to share that because it amazed me in the worst kind of way. The people that are supposed to understand this don't understand this.
They're just going to confuse a lot of people, I think, if they
Yes.
do that.
Yes, and
So-
then, but like I said, that's fine. He can label things however he wants, but as a responsible breeder, you should be able to explain things correctly.
I mean, if
Especially-
you drew out like a Punnett square and did all the things,
Yeah.
I mean, and said, this is the parent that I had, and this is the genetics I have, this is the other parent, this is the genetics. This is, I don't know. I mean, if he gave enough background, like I said, if I knew who the parents were, I'd be cool with it. Because I have an
prob-
understanding of
But see, here's what's
genetics.
going to happen. And I guess it doesn't really matter because I mean, you really know you're taking a gamble either way, whether it's head or not. So it doesn't matter. 66, 50%. It's a matter of understanding. Just actually understanding what you're talking about is the important thing I have here. But someone buys that animal from him and then goes and sells it to someone else. They're just gonna say, hey, this was a 50% het, whatever. Well, now that person is a person removed from the original and has lost any knowledge and we've all played the telephone game. They're not going to carry all the knowledge to the next person.
Well, for me, if I get possible hets, I just sell them as normals. And,
Yeah, and a lot of folks do.
surprise down the line, you know the
Well,
parents, there's a chance, but selling it as normal.
You go buy a ball python or a corn snake from PetSmart, it's het something.
Oh yeah,
Oh, yeah.
especially
There's
corn
not-
snakes. Jeez.
Yeah.
I don't think they're already normal corn snakes anymore.
They are
Right.
het something. So basically, if you go buy one of those, that could look, if someone really wanted to have fun breeding wise, go buy one of those animals from PetSmart,
Oh yeah.
raise it up, and just breed it to shit.
See what you get.
See what,
See
the
what
hell
happens. I kind of
Easter
did that with my first
eggs.
corn snake, and now I know she's motley and with a shared allele of stripe because they
Yeah.
throw stripes and motley. No, she's motley, but the dad was definitely striped. So now the babies,
Yeah,
I learned that is a shared allele. I didn't know that until I experimented with that.
I knew
But
that
yeah,
when
and then I
bought my
got
first Motley.
I got aneries out of them. I got some snows. I didn't know that was going to happen.
Yeah,
So-
Katie has a corn snake. We call that's a mutt. He's an anery, but he's a mutt. They didn't know what was in him, and I bred him once to my snow, and I got snows. And I was like, all right, well, we know that he's het albino,
He's
Right.
his name is Heinz,
like Heinz 57,
like Heinz 57.
That's
just
beautiful.
a mix of whatever.
Yeah.
I love it.
Heidi also put South Tex Gex, by the way, which is
Carl.
Carl Vargas's business. If you want an amazing lychee, that's where you go. Anyways,
Gecko for life. Not really. I have 5 geckos, little micro geckos.
I want a red-eyed croc skink. I think that might be the next list.
I feel like they'd be hard to take care of. I haven't really looked into it though.
I've
I
heard
feel
they
like it'd
can be.
difficult.
God,
Yeah.
that's so I've heard that because a lot of them are imports.
Yep.
So when they come in, depending on how they are, it's like a coin
Parasites,
toss.
dehydrated.
Exactly.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So it's a coin toss, but
Yeah.
it's on my list.
anywho,
Anywho,
we're at the end. A couple things I want to hit on before we go. Next month, anybody that's
it's
going to be
February.
it's February. That is true. That is 100% true. It will be February. We'll be shut the fuck up. Next month at NARBC Arlington, we will be there set up with our podcast stuff at the table
cool.
with Michael Pinnell from Python on the Pear Tree. So come by and check us out. Say hi. Maybe we'll throw you on the podcast. I still got to order a microphone ASAP so we can have 4 of them.
We actually have
Amazon?
something that if they're willing to try,
Oh yeah, we did. So we went to the candy store at the mall with my daughter and some friends, and they had 2 different flavors of crickets. So we
bought sour cream and onion
I
crickets.
forgot where you said you were for a second, but okay.
Yes,
That
I know.
sounds
When he
disgusting.
said that, it made me think of another store called the Candy Store, and that was not where we were.
What are you talking about?
Really? You've never heard of like an adult store called the Candy Store?
Never.
Oh, okay. Well, never mind them.
What,
Learn things every day.
There's one in Mobile.
have you been going to an adult
It was
store
a
without me?
huge building with fireworks on the top that got your attention when you drove by.
Not everybody knows your porn shop in Mobile.
I've
Okay.
actually never been inside that building. Thank you very much. I was looking for them. I thought they were up here.
I don't know where
I
they
think the other one is like,
are. Sour cream and onion and
was it like bacon cheddar or something?
yeah, something like that. So
If you want to try one,
we're gonna see if we can get people to eat them at
you can be
Arlington.
on the podcast.
Only if you try one.
How famous do you want to be?
I mean, we have 11 people watching us right now. I don't know how famous,
famous
they'll
are
be
you
if
gonna
they'll
get?
eat a
Hey,
cricket.
we're in double digits.
Now we're down to 9.
Anyway, so we will be at Arlington set up doing the podcast. Come by, see us, say hi. Hopefully we'll have shirts by then.
Darren Watson
Hopefully
said he
next year I
likes
can go.
I need
the
to order.
Peter's Banded Skinks.
Those are cool.
Yeah, I want one of those too. They're on my list.
I also need to get like a banner or something for our podcast so people know who we are when they walk by.
Yeah, you do.
Okay.
So I gotta do that. So we'll be there. Don't forget our giveaway again this month for January is going to be the 36 by 18. Is it 32 by 18? I think it's 36 by 18. Anyways,
Oh my god.
the lid for the Exoterra from our friends over at Focus Cubed who made this. I haven't pointed out in a while. Our amazing sign up here behind me.
Mhm.
It is amazing.
I love this
Very
sign.
cool.
The In Blue podcast will be there because Rachel will be there, and so will Heidi. The Heidi will be set up. They'll it's southern Texas, South Texarkana.
Why are you still speaking?
I don't know what's happening.
Heidi, please help him because I know you're in the chat.
Southern Star Reptiles.
You got it.
There we go.
Fuck yeah.
Jesus. That
Got
was
it.
painful.
Got it. So check out Heidi and Rachel. They'll be there as well. In Blue. So I got it. You know what I'm saying now? Heidi, I got it. In Blue just put out their. Did they just put out their episode? They put out an episode this week. They'll be putting out an episode this week. No, I'm putting out an episode this week. Oh shit. I got my weeks off.
So confused.
I know this week, the Pint Size Reptile Podcast, part of the Reptile Gumbo Network, will be putting out their episode with the Cussing Monk, is what I'm titling it. It's a very interesting podcast. It's not a species related one. Normally we do species related episodes, but this one was just too good. And it's labeled the Cussing Monk. Please give it a listen. I think everybody will like it. It's pretty good. Darren says if you had Reptile Gumbo t-shirts, you would be more famous. That's true.
I have been.
That is true.
James Lewis needs to handle this.
That's probably true as well. James Lewis is also teaching the freshmen on a daily basis and doesn't want to do shit when he gets home.
He's definitely malfunctioning. It's okay.
Anyways, I think I covered everything. Oh, be at Conroe this weekend. Everybody come out to Conroe if you're coming. It's on Sunday. 10 to 6, Conroe.
Sunday.
That's what we need. That's what you should have commercial with Sundays. Although with that saying, there is a monster truck thing this weekend in Houston.
There's also a big political rally.
Fuck that.
In Conroe.
On Saturday.
Oh, goodness.
Anyways,
I've heard anything from 50,000 to 300,000 people there.
I can tell you who will not be anywhere near there.
Yeah.
This guy.
Well, I'll be near there because we're going up there for dinner.
Are you?
We're going to the dinner at Mama Juanita's.
Yeah. I kind of want to, but we canceled our hotel.
Y'all did.
We saved some money.
I get it.
Well, and somebody's birthday is
I might.
Friday, so I kind of feel obligated to take him out to dinner. Especially since I'm going to be busy until like 7:30 that night with school related functions.
We'll be back if y'all want to. Well, we'll talk about it
I
later.
feel like such a bad wife.
So, April, if you want to get a hold of you and talk about short tails and bloods and those fat snakes that pee a lot.
Yeah. The best way to get a hold of me is going to be Bloods by Design on Instagram or on Facebook, but you can get a hold of me quickest on Instagram.
Look at you using Instagram
I know.
like a kid.
I
What?
keep those notifications on. That's why I actually get to it.
Oh,
Fabulous.
if you want a rack or a cage, PVC rack or PVC cage, check out lsreptileracks.com.
Fucking Seth.
I have a dot
Did
call
you
too.
Did you see Seth's new logo that Noah did for him?
Yeah, it's badass.
That thing was awesome. So our buddy Seth over at Huff's Herps got a new logo done by Noah over at what is Noah's business?
No Bounds?
Oh yeah,
That's not Peachy.
was it not him?
No, it's a different Noah.
Oh, I thought it was no.
No,
Well,
Well,
you
hold
suck
on.
at this.
completely
What
different
the
Noah.
heck?
James really is malfunctioning tonight.
This
Like,
shit's free for everybody to listen to. I can fuck up as much as I want to.
you are struggling.
You know what? Oh,
He's even
No.
struggling on pressing the button.
I am.
That's too loud.
Someone
That
just
is
crashed
too
their car.
loud. Not
I
okay.
really hope
Hmm.
It wasn't as loud as it was for us.
Like,
Man.
God.
That's what she said.
The one good thing is before he puts this out, he'll go in and levelize all of the
I mean,
volumes.
Thank God.
So maybe it won't like cause a car accident on the road.
Maybe. Or
It was at this moment he knew. He fucked up.
Well, at least you can admit it. All right, James. Did you already tell people how they could get a hold of us?
you know what I told them?
Wrong, 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 wrong. Wrong, 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 wrong. You're wrong. You're wrong. You're wrong.
Anyways,
That was too long.
Oh my God.
it's from Scrubs, and Scrubs is amazing.
You know, Chris Eaton messaged me earlier and said every time you hit one of those buttons, I should like whack you upside the head.
He told me the same thing.
Chris, you can suck a dick.
I was like, no, he's having fun. I feel bad.
Anyways,
He just fucking messaged me for the love of fucking God.
anyways, if you want to get a hold of us, it's the Reptile Gumbo Podcast on Instagram, on Facebook. or at gmail.com. I don't have a guest for next week. I gotta figure that out too. Apparently,
No, I think we do.
who do we?
I think we do.
Hopefully,
I think
If not-
I think I have a guest lined up.
if
I
not,
think it's
April will
next
be our
week.
guest again.
If it's not next week, it's the week after.
So, all right, April, thank you for coming on. It's been great. I haven't seen you in forever.
I know.
So
Congrats
that
on
we could-
100, guys.
Thank you. You were a part
Thank
of it.
you.
You were
have been a big
part of
part.
it.
Yeah.
And
But
just
you
know
made
that
it. You made it
that
to the
people-
end game. Well,
People
middle
still
game.
miss you, but now they can find you. Oh, plug your podcast again.
Oh, okay. It is called Strictly Shorties. It is on the NPR network. You can find it on Apple and Spotify and anywhere else you can listen to podcasts. Everything
go-
short tails and blood pythons.
Go give it a listen. Thank y'all for listening. Good night to everybody. See y'all next week.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.